They are that bloody good, Phil Hurden. Oh, Harry Prosser gets dropped! The excitement is building, the crowd is here.
Oh, why not, mate?
Well, g'day footy fans and welcome to ANZAC Day at Largs Reserve. Before there was a Port District, there was a Semaphore Central. And when the war to end all wars began, the call to serve rang out. Few would answer it more than the 1914 Premiers. Half of that team went to war. 26 from the club would enlist. 6 would never return. Honoured to bring you this broadcast are filming footy sponsors. Archie's Footwear, Belgraver Apparel, New Balance, Neomorph Mouthguards, Hahn, Sportal, Wakefield Sport Exercise Clinic, Roll the Dice Racing, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Coming up, a commemoration and a footy match, both to serve tribute and to ensure that we'll always remember, that we'll never forget. Thanks to Filming Footy, this is ANZAC Day in the Adelaide Footy League. Welcome back. It is ANZAC Day. We're here at Largs Reserve for what's a pretty big footy game. Undefeated Port District against undefeated Glenunga, but of course it is much more than a footy game today. My name's Phil Hurden, joined by Adam Jeffries and Lachlan Gould. And Lachlan, there is something special about playing on ANZAC Day. It's probably the biggest game outside of finals.
Yeah, you've summed it up perfectly. It's a real honour to be here and yeah, really excited for this one.
And Adam, the two teams, Port District, is it fair to say they used their get-out-of-jail card last week, the kick after the siren, to beat Teacher Gully?
Yeah, it was somewhat surprising, wasn't it? We talked about the match pre-match where we were at Golden Grove. We thought Port District would go and win easily, but credit to Teacher Gully who played good football, but well done to Port District. Sometimes you've got to play badly and get the W, so well done to them. Today will be interesting. I'm really keen to see their new look lineup. You know, there's 8 or 10 players from last year. I expect them to be mean defensively. Where are their scores going to come from? We might talk about that more in the pre-match.
And for Glenunga, only 9 of their 21 from last year's grand final are playing today. Big transition, but hey, they're 2 for 2, or is it more the teams they've played?
Yeah, it just goes to show 9 is it's a big turnover, isn't it? Probably more than we expected. But what it shows is Coach Grimer's system. They've only conceded 14 goals in 2 weeks. So they'll be a defensive juggernaut again. Could be a low-scoring arm wrestle today with a lot of pressure and excitement around the ball where Glenunga are going to kick their goals from. But yeah, this is a clash of the Titans. Feel really excited.
And Lockie, you're 2 for 2 with the weather. A beautiful day for what we hope is going to be a massive game.
Yeah, it's been really nice. Very slight breeze, but yeah, this is a beautiful day for footy.
Alrighty, we're set. ANZAC Day commemoration coming up after the break.
belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back to Largs Reserve, or its new name, Country Living Homes Reserve. Great to see a sponsor coming on board to support Port District. That's where we're at this afternoon for our ANZAC Day occasion. Phil Herden, Adam Jeffries in the Filming Footy broadcast van. And Adam, we've talked about ANZAC Day, and the commemoration is about 10 minutes away. Just your thoughts on being here on and getting to me, it's always an honour to broadcast a game on this day.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is a big occasion. ANZAC Day. Players love it. Spectators love it. The crowd here is amazing. Feels like we were here a couple of years ago. I remember watching a second semi. And it was an SANFL style crowd. Here's a big crowd here. Everyone's up early. Everyone's keen. Sun's out. It was a bit of a gloomy start to the day, but fantastic weather. No, it is exciting. I agree with the pre-match. It's probably the second biggest day behind the grand final, really, isn't it? Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. So exciting to be here.
Let's hope that's always the case. Let's have a look at the two teams. Port District, actually before we do, the ladder. And it doesn't get any bigger than 1v2. Glenunga, the better percentage, courtesy probably of, two bigger wins. Port District, big win over Broadview. That's the common marker with both. Glenunga took care of Brighton, Port District just over the line last week. Let's have a look at Port District and their history. They go back all the way here on the peninsula to 1873. Semaphore Central started 1898. Their first premiership, 1914. And we'll tell that story as the afternoon progresses. Second oldest club in the comp behind Adelaide University. They merged with Exeter, Port District, and they really, I think, do a fantastic job of having their own identity as Port District, but also recognising the culture and the history of those two clubs. Yeah,
and they're a real strong club now, aren't they? Feel out here, you know, Port Districts are one of the big clubs in the Adelaide Footy League. Participation, juniors, off-field, what's happening. They're a great club now, Port Districts, and well done to them.
And of course, they were the 2022 premiers. Fantastic day beating Prince Alfred at Norwood Oval, which we'll show you on the next screen, which gives you a little bit of their recent history. And before that, 2022, they were sort of in the no man's land, 5th, 6th, 7th. Not good enough to challenge for the flag, not bad enough to get relegated. And then we had Josh Ramsey come in as coach, 15-5. Premiers, probably the underdogs in that Prince Alfred game, but their defence by that stage was absolutely sublime.
Yeah, I coached against Port Districts a lot through that sort of 2018 to 2021. And yeah, they were always hard to beat. They played an attacking brand of football always. They used the short kicks. They scored heavily, but they couldn't defend. And I dare say Coach Ramsey brought a little bit of a defensive mentality. Not everybody likes it, Phil, but the reality is if the opposition can do what they want to do against you, you're not going to win premierships. You have to defend the ground. You have to be hard to play against, and that's what he's brought to the table. A little bit of a dip here last year, but they're looking at being a top 3 team again, certainly this year, Phil. Yeah,
last year definitely a top 4. District faded late to 4th spot, missed a double chance. And then Tea Tree Gully got them in the elimination final here. Part of that just bowled out of the blue of Tea Tree Gully in that final series. Since then, since being eliminated, they've loaded up. I've called them the February premiers, and quite a few of their recruits, well, their big recruit in size and stature, is in their team today as we have a look at their lineup, but plenty of talent around the ballpark.
Oh yeah, they've assembled an amazing list, added a lot more depth, you know, and you can see they probably haven't played with a strong ruck over the years, Port District, so Lycett will certainly help him in that area. What the big fella needs to do is be a presence around the ground as well, drift forward occasionally. I know he hit the goal sheet last week, but they've got plenty of good players. Obviously, I think Joseph Haynes is a fantastic player as well, so his speed as intercept Phil will be looking out today for sure.
Yeah, there's some big names. Joseph Haynes, Matty Rose from South Adelaide. Huge amount of Port Adelaide and our Woodville West Torridge linkage. There's 15 players of that 21 that have been heavily involved in some capacity with the Magpies or with the Eagles, or in the case of 3 players, both. Then you throw in some of the regulars, Sean Davidson, Niskuhus, Passanidi. The one player who's not in there, unfortunately, 5 changes. Liam Ferns, who kicked the winner after the siren last week, is out. 5 changes to the team that beat Teacher Gully last week. Coming in, Sean Davidson, captain, Lockie Gregg, Trent Heffernan, how big's that? Ben Millman and Louis Sharrod. So the outs, Mitch Gaffney, Motsiach, Carpeny, Carter and Fern, some good names there. But there's some big ins. There'll be a stronger side today.
We're talking about their recruits. So when we haven't even spoken about Sam Graves, played 100 AFL games, so the domino effect of the recruits, like a Trent Heffernan was their best player for many years. And now, he's probably in their best 10 players, all due respect to Trent, but that's the domino effect that it creates.
So just earlier today in the C's, Port District by 93 points, 16-11-107, Glenunga 2-2-14. In the B's, it's in the final quarter, Port District leading by 5 points, and there is definitely a scoring in today to the northern end. More from our Bandra Lachlan Gord about that a little bit later when he does his pitch report. Let's flip over and have a look at Glenunga. Their history, a little bit more recent, still I might add, 70 years this year. Originally Hyde Park, moved to Webb Oval in 57, joined the Amateur League in 1960, and they've been all over the place. Div 1 to Div 7, they've covered the highs and the lows, and they were 1 win away last year from their inaugural Div 1 championship.
Yeah, they were a bit unlucky, weren't they, really? They had such a strong season, and some people thought they were going into the grand final as the favourites purely because they did finish top of the ladder, but Prince Alfred were a pretty heavy, pretty good underdog, weren't they, Phil, and got them on the day, but they certainly didn't disgrace themselves last year, Glenunga. In fact, they've only been in Division 1 for the last 2 seasons, but they feel like they're a mainstay, don't they? They were so strong when they re-entered in 2022, and then last year just falling short of the grand final.
Yeah, finished third in their first year, finished minor premiers, and then runners-up in the final. They've only got 1 level to go. But what you'll find is you have a look at this, and this is Glenunga moving around. 2017 did 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like a Thunderbirds ad. But yeah, lots of premiers. And the 1 year they had off, 2020, they got lucky, didn't they? No wins, but no relegation.
I think they knew. Did the clubs know when they played the half season in 2020 there was going to be no promotion relegation? Because certainly a few players stayed at home and maybe stayed on the barbecue that year. But super strong, obviously a super strong season in 2021. Bit of a surprise packet in 2022. We didn't think they'd jump from Div 2 to Div 1 top 3. They did really, really well. And they were a juggernaut last year. Really just played a poor 15 minutes in the grand final and they finished runner-up. Other than that, they were the team to beat. They play a really strong system. Most impressed with them as a football club as well, Phil. So with Glenunga, what surprised me was Port District have 11 of their 2022 premiers in, just the 9 for Glenunga. So there's a lot of new players here. Yeah, it's a big turnaround, isn't it? We knew they'd lost players, but when you tell me only 9 of 22 from last September are playing, it's an even bigger turnaround. Thank goodness Abe Davis is still on the list, so that's a huge, and he's a game-changing player, Phil. Captain Abe. Yeah, he's Captain Abe, is he? Yeah, good on him, and thanks to Abe for having a chat with us at three-quarter time there before he was having a kick-to-kick. We might talk about some of the stuff he spoke about later. But Abe Davis is a champion of this competition. Look for Michael McMahon to hit the score sheet, play more as a full forward. There's no Wonkies on the team sheet at the moment. I know one's injured, one's retired. But they've still got some quality, Phil, but look for them to play a real strong defensive game today. As we see some excitement happening out in the B grade. Well, real close game. The commemoration is due to start in 3 minutes, and the scores are level in the B, so something's going to give, maybe. No extra time. Well, there can't be extra time, so we'll have a draw. All good. But yeah, a much more closer game. So the other games, a note that there is one other game being played today. Tommy Javor and Vince Cosmo, your commentary crew. It is streamed on Filming Footy. That's at Broadview, the Tigers and Princes. That's a big game for Broadview, Phil. They need to win today. Well, they had their big day. They had 5AA turn up and everything. That big round 1 against Port District. Unfortunately, Div 1As, they sort of laid a bit of an egg, went down by a fairly massive margin. Prince Alfred, 2 wins, maybe against lower half of the table
teams, but wins are wins.
Yeah, we don't know. Broadview have played the top two, haven't they? And Prince Alfred haven't. So, but it is a big game for Broadview. The pressure's all on them today. Prince Alfred will feel like it's a bit of a free kick, and they'll come out and try and move the football and get another W.
And a reminder that there are 3 games on Saturday. We're going to be backing up, sitting in the... actually, the van gets a game off. We're going up on the heights of the Brighton Bomber balcony. Looking forward to that.
Putting in overtime this week, Phil.
Yeah, an extra invoice to go in for sure. Brighton Bombers and Golden Grove. We saw Golden Grove last week, and they were pretty impressive.
Yeah, they were. Their offence certainly was pretty impressive for mine. Brighton, again, will try and lock them down. I think Golden Grove probably go to Brighton and win by a few goals. But I think Brighton are a little bit improved from last year. I think they're going to sneak a win against a fancied opponent soon.
Just in the Bs, Glenunga are getting a shot on goal with about 40 years. They have a Port District lead by 5. Okay. So this is actually for the lead if that scoreboard is correct. But I thought Glenunga had hit the front before. What do I know? Anyway, they're going to have the shot straight in front, which has got the crowd, and it is a really good crowd that's turned up already with the game still first bounce half an hour away. And the shot has missed. So that's 2 that they may have missed.
Don't think they'll get many more opportunities there, Phil. I think the siren's imminent.
Yeah, well, this game's got about 6 minutes left. We're set for the commemoration that's going to be running late, so I hope we bought the candles for a late finish. We'll take a quick break, be back with the end of the Bs and the start of our ANZAC Day commemorations.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back. When we left you, Glenunga Bees were having a shot on goal, which they missed. Now Glenunga Bees are having another shot on goal, which we'll see in a minute, but they're trailing by 4 points, so everyone matters.
He's
here.
at the top of the goal square, Phil.
There we go. Let's have a look. You can see it for yourself, and you can tell by the celebration that the Rams have just hit the front. We've got, please ignore the scoreboard, we have no idea how much time is left, but it is only minutes so far. So, do want to talk a little bit, recognise our sponsors, which include Neomorph mouthguards. We've got the Magic Moment, Adam, looking forward to that. We've got the Belgravia apparel on Mosley.
Mosley's the favourite, isn't it?
Mosley is the best team man. We're going to have an ANZAC Day medal today. It's going to be the Albert Donald medal, and that's going to be for the best on ground. Albert Donald was one of many from Semaphore Central who served in the First World War, enlisting on the 5th of February 15 from down the road here at Birkenhead. So you'll get the medal. You'll also get our Dartfish beanie, our Archie's footwear, and our Belgravia New Balance voucher. The Moseley Bar and Kitchen voucher you've mentioned. Also, our other sponsors, which include the Hahn Brewery and Sportal. They're going to be sponsoring our scoreboard today. Sapol, our crosses to Lockie Gould. Born to Build, Bianco Constructions. They're going to be our mark and goal of the week, which you'll see on Between the Posts Monday evening. 9 News, always great sponsors of the entire Adelaide Footy League. And Sharon, of course, they provide the footies. Pretty important.
Yeah, we can't play without football still.
Pretty important that. Sports Interactive and Dartfish. The Dartfish stats are something to behold. You'll get a breakdown of those through the course of Between the Posts. Farmers Leap Winery, always a great drop. We thank them for their support.
Very nice.
Coach of the Week.
Yes.
We've got a coach
Love
of the
that award.
year.
It's about time the coaches got recognised, Phil.
Yeah,
It's a tough job.
We've got to recognise all the different parties. Roll the Dice Racing, speaking of prizes, that's an epic prize, isn't it? 5%
Yes.
of a racehorse.
Especially a winning racehorse, which we've heard it is at the moment. So
Now 60 seconds left in the game. As you can see, Glenunga, a spectacular mark. Just keeping Port Districts at bay at the moment. It is Glenunga by 2 points on our Hahn Sportal scoreboard. 8-9-57, Port District 8-7-55. If you have just joined in, the match hasn't started, the A grade. Just the Bees are running a little late. One sponsor we do want to mention, because they're new on board, Jags Meatworks. They have a new prize called Snag of the Day. A couple of our other streaming games will have Snag of the Day, and Jags Meatworks are giving up. And there's another mark inside 50 for Glenunga, and they can ice the game either by seeing out to the siren, or actually kicking a goal. So there, Snag of the Day in some other games, because we've got our Neomorph Mouthguards Magic Moments. But a kilogram of gourmet sausages.
plenty of good prizes this year as the siren goes in the B grade. It's a great contest out there.
Yeah, it was, and it's going to be Glenunga. The only question is by how much, and always smart, because you never know when percentage comes into it. If you get a chance to score after the siren, win or lose, always wise to do. And that kick is wayward. It's one behind, but we have a final in the Bs. It's Glenunga on the Hahn Sportal scoreboard. That is 8-9-58. Winners by 3 points over Port District, 8-7-55. Those other games that we've got coming up on Saturday, we was just going to talk about Brighton and Golden Grove. Talk about sort of a very important game for Broadview today. Pretty similar for Brighton. They'd want to get that first one on the board pretty quickly. Yeah,
like I said, I feel like Brighton have been pretty competitive, and I'm sure Coach Backer will have something up his sleeve. And it's just about kicking accurately, isn't it, for Brighton? If they can have a game where they kick 11-4 instead of 4-11, they're going to sneak a win soon, I reckon. So, but Golden Grove probably win for mine by a couple of goals, but Brighton not far away.
Payneham Norwood Union and Tea Tree Gully, two teams from the northeast. Payneham Norwood Union had it tough and tight at Sacred Heart, emerged the victors. They won a tight game. Tea Tree Gully lost a tight one.
Yeah, it's a big game for Payneham. Again, at home, they need to have that home ground fortress. Tea Tree Gully have played good football for 2 weeks and haven't got the chocolates there, but I think Payneham at home probably get the win. As we see the teams running out, and I'm sure the ANZAC ceremony is not too far. Phil, in these situations, what needs to happen is the players need to get really warm before they hit the field, because they'll run straight out and straight into an ANZAC commemoration, so they've got to do a really solid warm-up off the field.
Yeah, and what I'm really glad is that Glenunga have brought the Clash Whites.
Oh, yes.
Caught a couple of games at Glenunga where they have worn the navy blue, as they should. They're the home team, and Port District either didn't have a Clash Guernsey or didn't wear it, and that was a tough day.
It was a muddy day as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't. That was a tough one for the caller.
So, last game, two collegiate teams on Saturday, Spock and St. Peter's. And two collegiate teams at different edges at the moment. Spock 0-2, hosting Sacred Heart 2-0.
Yeah, I think Spock were impressive on Saturday out at Golden Grove, weren't they, Phil? So I think at home they can spring an upset with some of their ball movement if the weather's good and they can zip the football around. Sacred Heart are good defensively though. I don't think they'll allow St Peter's to move the ball like Golden Grove did, so I expect Sacred Heart to win by 3 or 4 goals in that game.
Okay, well, they're setting up the podium. They're setting up the MC. We have a bugler. So teams are just warming up at the moment. Shouldn't be too far away.
I spoke to the bugler, Phil. He's a little nervous because everyone's watching you on ANZAC Day, but he'll be right.
Well, I do have to admit that...
It's pressure, isn't it?
There is a little bit more. You just want to get it right as Port District take the field through their B grade side. And it's a big day for them. I mean, it's a big day for everyone that gets to play on ANZAC Day, but Port District, with the heritage they have as the number one club on the Lefevre Peninsula and their links to Semaphore Central, I guess you go back, there was a paper called the Adelaide Register, and in May 1915, this is barely weeks after the Gallipoli landing, the Register wrote that probably no other football club in the state has contributed such a large portion of its members to the front as Semaphore Central, last year's premier of the Adelaide Footy League. So 1 year, you're in your 20s probably, they played a little bit older back then, 20s and 30s, you're winning your first flag, and the next year you're halfway around the world in a foreign country fighting for what was at the time King and Country.
It's fitting that Port Districts do get a home ANZAC Day game then. I'm sure they requested it to the league through the summer. It's a big fixture for them.
Yeah, they had a big event back in 2014, 100 years of their first premiership, and also the 100 years of the start of World War II. They were the Semaphore Central jumper, because there were 6 players from Semaphore Central who went over and didn't come back. Lance Corporal Harry Burt, Sergeant Perrin Blackham, Lance Corporal Arthur Wilcox, Lance Corporal Perry Channon, Lance Corporal Roy Moore, Corporal Stuart Donnell, who is the brother of Albert Donnell, or A.G. Donnell, whose today league medal will be named after. And you do find a lot of clubs have that link of that time. I know Sturt have done a couple of ANZAC Day games at Unley Oval, and they've got, of course, the staircase leading down to their change rooms. And I think they lost 6 or 7 players in World War I, and each step of that staircase in their race has the name of the player labelled there, with their age and when they passed. And they're all so young as well when you think about the age of the players here.
Football's such a great link to ANZAC Day, though, isn't it? I think football has, with the AFL playing on ANZAC Day over the last 2 years, I think it's brought younger people in to understand, hasn't it? Why do we have a public holiday today? Why is it important? The question gets asked, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and it has been good to see the increased crowd and the increased participation, the youth vigils that occur overnight at most of the ANZAC Day commemoration sites now, which does have that link. And the medals and the recognition are very important. I mean, Glenunga as a club, they're the fortunate generation, I guess, formed as Hyde Park out of the remnants after World War II, but they had some members of the Unley RSL come and visit them during the week to talk about the occasion and how important that is. As the teams have done their warm-up, Barry Curtin, known to, a legend around the Port Adelaide area, he is the MC, and we'll be crossing to him for the ANZAC Day commemoration very, very shortly.
Welcome to Country Living Homes Reserve for our ANZAC Day clash today against Glenunga. To begin proceedings, would you please welcome, for the reading of the ode, a man who served in Vietnam with the 3rd Battalion, Trevor Thompson.
They shall stay no old, as we the left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemned. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
That was Will Madden, folks, playing the last post. I should mention also that we do have some very special guests here today. The Deputy Premier, Susan Close, is with us. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. And also the CEO of the Adelaide Football League, John Kernahan, is with us as well. So a big welcome to those people. We're now about to raise the Australian flag. Going to ask Craig Taylor if he will do the honours. He's already done the honours. He's a man before his time. He's already done the honours. He really is. All right. He didn't get the memo this morning, folks. Please don't blame him. He's done a terrific job. Tossing the coin today, another special guest with us, John Quinn. John, lovely to see you too, mate. John will be tossing the coin to start today's game. Thanks very much for attending the ceremony, folks. We really appreciate it. We look forward to a really, really good day today at the Country Living Homes Reserve. Thank you very much.
Barry Curtin, the MC, keeping it flowing, and when things don't quite go to script, a good MC can certainly make a difference.
Can go pear-shaped putting the flag up this morning at my ANZAC ceremony. It took him a minute or so to pin it and get it up.
Yes.
So, very well done. The bugler did a great job. He was nervous, Phil, but
did.
he nailed it.
Oh, look,
he nailed it.
Have you ever tried to play a bugle?
No,
we used to have one in the
I'm not that talented.
We used to have one in the Woodville Cheer Squad back in the 80s, and I tried, and it was absolutely woeful.
Yeah.
As was just about everybody except the one bloke could play it, and he was valuable. He was like gold. Okay, we're heading out to the coin toss pretty shortly as the teams have the huddle. They had a pretty good warm-up prior to. Interesting, Port Districts have gone out to warm up a little bit more. Glenunga to their huddle. They'll get in a pretty rushed prep before they start, which is due to happen in about 8 minutes' time. So, for the moment, before the coin toss, let's have a little talk about this game where you think it will be won and lost today.
Yeah, it's a big game, isn't it? So it's 1v2, right? So if you go 3-0, Phil, you set your season up, don't you? You're not going to miss finals if you go 3-0 for one of these teams. Glenunga, like I said, a big turnover of players, so I think they're the underdog today, and they will be at times this year, but I think, like I said, you look at their defence, only 14 goals conceded in 2 weeks. They were miserly defensively last year, only averaged 43 points against last year. So I look for Glenunga. If I'm them, I want to get an arm wrestle. I don't want to get in a shootout out here. I'm looking for an arm wrestle if I'm Glenunga. But Port Districts won't kick a huge score. That's going to be maybe their one Achilles heel. They don't have a superstar tall forward. James Batty is a solid forward. I expect Trent Heffernan to spend time forward today as well, and I'd be looking to see if Sam Gray can kick some goals this year for Port Districts as well. So for mine, it's going to who takes the opportunities. I expect a low-scoring affair early. If Glenunga are going to win, they have to keep that scoreboard low and just keep the scoreboard ticking over with a couple of goals each quarter so they can launch an attack later in the game. The other factor you mentioned, Phil, is that there has been a scoring and the ball is carrying a lot further across the oval towards the scoreboard and the tennis court, so the left of screen could potentially be a scoring end. And if you've got the breeze and you've got some ascendancy, some repeat entries, you've got to hit the scoreboard. So for mine, can Glenunga find some goal scorers? Can Michael McMahon have a day out, kick 4 or 5? He's capable. We know Glenunga will get entries inside 50 with the way they set the ground up. It's just a matter of whether they can capitalise and find a winning score.
Well, Michael McMahon, just a note, we just got word live as it happens from the Glenunga management that Michael McMahon is wearing number 6 today, not number 27.
He's gone to full forward this year after the retirement of Michael Wunke, so he might be just channeling Tony Modro.
He might be.
Can we say that?
It's a famous number in South Australian sport, the old number 6, isn't it?
Mod's made it famous, but yeah, look for Michael McMahon to hit the score sheet today.
Yeah, and look, he kicked 3 goals last week. Parsons kicked 3, Wiseman kicked 4. I like that combination. Captains are coming out for the coin toss. Let's go down boundary side, thanks to Police Credit Union, to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. We've got an amazing coin toss about to happen. Spine-tingling stuff, that ceremony as well. The Port District's captain has made his way into the middle, quickly followed by the captain of Glenunga. Shaking hands going on now. But yeah, the weather conditions out here, absolutely sunny. We started, for those that don't live in Adelaide, we started a little bit rainy this morning, but it seems we've come around. Just waiting now, the rules being explained. Tails was the call. And there we go, Glenunga, they're going to kick with the wind towards the north. And this is going to be a really enthralling contest. So as I just mentioned, boys, the weather, perfect day for footy out here. The crowd really ramped up and we are really excited for a massive ANZAC day. Back to you guys.
First win to Glenunga. I get the feeling that first use of the breeze is going to be pretty important this afternoon.
Yeah, when you get to A grade level, the skills are a little bit better and you'll find you can score more goals into the breeze than say at B and C grade level. But yeah, like I said, Glenunga will get inside 50 entries. They set the ground up so well, they'll get repeat entries. Can they take some half chances and kick 3 or 4 goals in the first quarter and set their day up? Time will tell.
So we thank Lockie. He is brought to us today by Police Credit Union. Our interchanges by the Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic. Our scoreboard is so big. Our scoreboard, we need 2 sponsors, Hahn and Sportle, and we welcome our new sponsor, Jags Meatworks. We might even get a chance to talk to Trek, who's from Jags Meatworks, a little bit later in the contest. Umpires today. They probably feel the same honour as we do being involved in ANZAC Day. Andrew Crosby, I reckon he's the best at this level. Jason Hayes and Frank Manicus rounding the boundary. Anthony and interesting that it is 3 field umpires today. That's interesting. And Anthony Bertoli, Andrew Roberts on the boundary. Chris May and Steve Martin waving the flags.
It's a smart idea with only 2 games on. Why not give 3 umpires a try, Phil? I think that's smart by the league.
Not that we're expecting anything really out of hand today. I mean, ANZAC days have always had a little bit of a fire up at the start, but probably not as notorious for that as it used to be.
Yeah, agree. You don't get much of that anymore. But yeah, with only 2 games on, there's lots of good umpires in Division 1. The umpiring in Division 1 is outstanding for mine. And I'm thinking we've commentated 2 games already this year, Phil, and we've barely made mention of them, which means they're doing a damn good job.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
And we are yet to start anywhere near when it's supposed to. That's by the way. Actually, no, they did say that it was going to be 2:30 start of the first bounce. It looks like we're going to be maybe a minute or so in. The teams have broken their huddles. The surplus footballs are being kicked. Good to see a couple of the kids in the vests. One thing about Largs Reserve or Country Living Homes Reserve, for mine that I love, is the scoreboard. The Hans Sportal scoreboard. Purely because of the number of people that look after it. It really is a scoreboard by committee. You can see one of the tennis clubs here down the southwest pocket. I want you to have a look at the flag just to give you an idea of the strength of the breeze. It is blowing pretty strong. We have another flag a long way away on our eastern flank, which is the Adelaide Brighton Cement, and they've got a flag about maybe 15 stories high. That's blowing strong. The end that Glenunga are kicking to, I think we're ready to go, Adam.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracking contest. Look for, is it big Jordan West going in the ruck against Scott Lysett. He's just got to make a contest and not give away a free kick, Phil. Let's see what the big fella can do. New ruckman this year for Glenunga. And it looks like the great matchup is Louis Sharrod on Abe Davis to Bulls going at it there, Phil, to start this game.
ANZAC Day on Lefevre Peninsula. And the first kick will go to Port District. They're heading to the right of your screen in the black with the white Port District Football Club motif. The Rams of Glenunga in the clash white strip with the light blue, dark blue Ram motif are heading to the left of your screen with the breeze. First inside 50, and it's already a scramble. I think that's first tackle made on Sam Abel. He's going to be important. Tap straight to Davis. He gets the clearing kick bouncing. It sits okay for Sammy Parsons. Doesn't waste much time to put it into some space. A chance for some players to run onto it. First to get there's going to be Ben Millman into the side today. He sort of recovers, washes his own laundry in that respect, puts it out in favour of Gould. Gould picks it up down the western wing where there's a huge amount of spectators. When there's no Port Magpies and no Port Power playing, that western wing always well represented.
So look for the early tactic is West did the centre bounce and has gone to full forward, and Abe Davis is going to do the ruck against Scott Lysett. So keep an eye on that matchup.
Yeah, and it was Davis who was in the ruck opposed to McKay on that occasion. Glenunga's kick through some hands. Rose got a touch. Now Districts will bring it to the western side, to the clubroom side. Good run. Good stretch to Bilby. Some clear possession here. Hugh Desire in front of our broadcast position. Probably first inside 50 of the game, and it's going to be a Glenunga mark. And with the breeze, maybe a chance for the first score.
Great play by Glenunga early, the intercept mark. This is what they're so good at. They're so good at intercepting the ball. And I think it was Parsons with a nice play on, and it was the inside 45 kick that set that angle up. And his number 6,
Michael
the full
McMahon.
forward.
I'm glad we got told pre-game of the change, or else I'd be a bit concerned right now. McMahon's kick, well, he's had the sighter. We do have a score. It is a behind to Glenunga 1, Port District 0. That is on the Hahn Sport or scoreboard. We've gone 2 minutes of ANZAC Day football.
And again, Scott Lysett has done the centre bounce and gone to full forward. So the Rucks have just done the centre bounce, Phil, and then gone to the goal square, which is an interesting tactic.
Away from each other. Okay, so Rose's kick finds Didoff. Long penetrating kick down to the western ring right in front of us, where Glenunga seem to have the numbers, but Port District laying the tackle. One of those was Niskus. Forces to stoppage. He'll be at the bottom of that pack, getting a few touches of the Sharon early. Bring the ball up. Well, I was got back the call of Glenunga clearance, but Dinoff with the Shepherd and the little friendly welcome to
well
the
umpired
Peninsula.
there, not to pay a free kick. But you can see already, Phil, Port District's Achilles heel is their lack of a tall forward. Jason Niskus at his height really is playing a centre-half forward, marking target for Port Districts on their exit so far, as Abe Davis uses his strength in the ruck.
Yeah, he's ruckman and rover in one ball. The hand pass comes out. This is Sammy Parsons with the long kick. We've missed one to the right, missed one to the left. It's 2 points to the visitors on the Hahn Sportal scoreboard. That's the Glenunga Rams.
So if Abe Davis is rucking against Port District's second ruckman, McKay, he's going to dominate that matchup. So I like what Coach Grimer has done so far. He's already pushed him out of the way and got a big clearance.
The question is, that is a fair physical workload.
Yeah. And the other thing to bear in mind with Scott Lysett, Phil, is he retired from AFL because of his body, and this is a 5-day turnaround, so he may have come into this game genuinely sore and may spend some time at full forward today.
Yep. Well, that's right. To say the training would have been light, as Sharrod tried to get a kick away but tackled. This will be Hugh Desira, who has it outside 50. You can see He's in the gap between the arc and the square. Heads for a hot spot. Here comes Parsons out for the attempt. Spills towards the tennis club. No possession, will be a throw in.
So it's worked so far here. Big West was able to bring the ball to ground against 3 opponents there. He can take the forward ruck here, and Glenunga can set a wall up behind the footy, again looking for a repeat entry.
So West doing the ruck up forward, comes to Fay. Looks like, I'm not sure if you're keeping count of the clearances, Adam, but they're getting first touch of the football more times than not.
They've won the last 4 clearances and nothing's gone Port District's way from a clearance thus far. So interesting to watch. But we spoke pre-match about this field. Glenunga dominant, but haven't kicked a goal yet.
Now, where have we seen this before?
We've seen this plenty of times.
Every week of the season so far. Tea Gully week 1, St. Peter's week 2. And the kick towards the centre half forward. Again, front position. Great effort. Yep. We'll go to Lockie at the next break. As the bouncing ball over some heads, needs a sharp left turn, instead it's rushed through. Let's go Boundary side to Lachlan Gould.
I was just doing a walk through of the benches, boys. 2 very different philosophies out there. Glenunga, very loud, very noisy. Port District's very calm. The only sound you could hear over there was the ball bouncing.
Yeah, saving themselves. Glenunga going full out, as they probably need to. So I think I just saw a Wonky as one of the runners.
Yeah, that's Big Mike.
Yeah.
Wonder if they'll try and get 4 or 5 games into him and qualify him for the finals this year, Phil. Let's wait and see.
As that kick is wayward and out of bounds. So Glenunga doing all the attacking. Port District, the first inside 50, haven't had one
Glenunga the last
since.
5 and kicked 4 behind. So this is modern footy now, isn't it, Phil? Teams, even when they're not going so well, they get their turn inside 50. Can you make the opposition pay? Port Districts have defended well early. I thought Port Districts would be a strong defensive unit so far, and that's proven the case.
Yeah, call a bit of Sandful W when I'm not here with the filming footy crew, and it's exactly the same. And one team will have it inside their forward 50 for a good 8-10 minutes until they finally get that goal. Sheer weight of numbers eventually gets there.
And I've spoken about this a lot in the calls, Phil. This is the decision the coaches need to make, where they put their talented players. For mine, you know, I'd be looking to, is there another talented player that Coach Grimer can get inside 50 to take those half chances?
Throw in front of the Hahn Sport or scoreboard. It is all Glenunga, 6th inside 50 for mine, although Adam is keeping our official stats this afternoon. Port District, again, the chance to clear really didn't look up, although good effort from Ben Gould to interfere with Pearson. Kick around the body. Is that 5 in a row? 5 behinds in a row it is. That shot from Parsons. Gee. I mean, one thing is, at least they're kicking their behinds pretty quickly.
Yeah, Parsons had a couple of little half opportunities. He's looked dangerous so far in this game, getting free at half forward for Glenunga.
If you just joined us in the C's, Port District by 93 points. In the B's, Glenunga by 3. Kicking a couple of goals to the non-scoring end. I thought once Port District got their noses in front with the breeze, they might be home in the B's, but not to be. Excuse the pun.
And this ground's quite narrow, Phil, so you can really squeeze the ground. It's very difficult. They're just hemmed in on one side and having to bomb the ball to numbers. They can't switch the football because Glenunga are so good defensively, and there's no space laterally like we saw at Golden Grove last week.
Yeah, you just get the feeling Glenunga are going to go inside until they get a goal. And here's their chance. Fletcher Wiseman.
He bobbed up with 4 last week, is that
Yeah,
right?
he was the best on ground, 4 goals, 5 for the season. He's already been 2 games, 2 best players.
4 goals is a big game in Division 1, and he's got an early free here. They need a straight kick here, though, Phil, to a 7 inside 50s to 1.
He loves clubs with 2 blues. Has played for both Kangarilla and Sturt with a similar colour scheme. Also Goody Saints and Flagstaff Hill. 19 games last year, 11 goals, so knows where they are. 5 already, and really needs a first for Glenunga here. Reward for effort is there. We have our first goal of ANZAC Day, belongs to Fletcher Wiseman. And Ram Nation breathes a sigh of relief. They finally got a major.
So we're in the commentary box here. We can't feel exactly how windy it is out there. It does appear as if Port Districts are struggling to clear the football, but I think that's just through Glenunga's pressure. I don't think the breeze is playing any part thus far. Glenunga are dominating the stoppages, and they're able to lock the ball in because they don't allow Port Districts to switch the ball.
Let's go to Blocky Gould.
Yeah, just on that point, Adam, it's really windy out here, but I agree. That point there where you were talking about how it is just their pressure, they've set up a zone really wonderfully at the minute.
Okay, good. Thanks to Police Credit Union giving us regular boundary crosses, huddles, coin tosses. I think he does weddings and bar mitzvahs as well. As we're at the 50-metre arc, so interesting. Centre clearances are 2-0 Port District. I reckon just about every other clearance has been Glenunga.
And is it a coincidence that Scott Lycett was at the centre bounce and they've won the clearance and he's gone back to full forward?
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right.
And West has run.
I can't recall where I've seen this.
Lycett was at that bounce on that occasion.
It's like centre bounces only. Well, there you go figure. I guess probably expecting it may be a high scoring. Here's the goal scorer and Wiseman. They're in the middle. West. Gee, he got low for that. And a few hands. There's Haynes. His first touch. He's introduced to the cricket pitch in the middle there, and that was deemed to be an unruly tackle and a free kick. Out to Captain Davidson. Under a bit of pressure takes the mark. He's one of 5 ins. I should mention for Glenunga, they've got 4 changes. Harry Prosser, Tom Michelini, Spencer Prowse and Kane Person comes in for Lagana, Cobain, Edgar and Cheeseman. So between the two clubs, 9 changes from the team that you mentioned, Adam, just played 5 days ago.
Again, Port Districts, without having a key forward, they won a free kick in the centre of the ground. They chipped sideways, not going direct because they don't trust their tall forward to bring the ball to the ground.
Fay with the long kick in the west direction. Front and square is Wiseman. His hand pass, though, intercepted. Through some hands. The kick from Nash Haynes, who's a new to the A grade, debut this year from down Central District, and a junior of the Elizabeth Eagles. Louis Sharrod at 50. Looking for Lycett, and Lycett did not move smoothly for that.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what's happened in the club, but we know that the big fella is banged up and 5-day turnaround. If it was an ANZAC Day, Phil, I dare say he'd be having a rest today. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But good on him for getting out, because for mine, Port Districts are still a better team with his magnet on the board, because they have to put a defender
target
on him, and they've won both centre clearances.
Probably the thing is, though, I'm not sure if he's going to be much of a leading forward today. It might be one to put it on his head. And
so, yeah, Sharrod's kick needs to be just plonked on his head, let him use his body.
Yep.
Any other time, that was a good kick to advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So Davis, again, this time the kick is partially smothered. Ruled to be a mark.
Loving this tactic of Davis doing the ruck work around the ground.
Yeah.
It's super smart. And they get another on ball at the stoppage.
It really is a battle of the coaches as much as it is on the field at the moment between Nathan Grimer and Josh Ramsey. On the field, it's all Glenunga on the Hans Portal scoreboard, 12-7. So you went for a wander pre-game. If you had to put a scoreboard measurement on the strength of the breeze, what would you come up with?
It's like, for the viewers at home, it's not blowing a gale out here at all. It's a 2 or 3 goal breeze. It's something that pulls your kick an extra 3 or 4 metres or drops it short 3 or 4 metres. So you can certainly score. Port Districts are just getting beaten around the ball at the moment.
Yeah. By Ruckman Abe Davis. He's certainly got the physical presence against whoever he's up against. On this occasion, it's Sam McKay.
But as soon as it hits the ground, he's on it as well, Phil. That's the beauty.
Charlie Pridham has it. His kick towards the square.
That's a good
That's a very good grab by Joey Haynes. Looking forward to seeing him run around. Of course, famous for being a state defender at state league level with the Panthers of South Adelaide. And more famous or more infamous, I'm not sure, for doing the Sandful footy sauce commercial back in the day. I'm not sure where that footy sauce ended up, but certainly had a bit of fun with it at the time.
The thing about Haynes as well is he's such a good mark for his light frame, Phil. He is a really good intercept mark.
And he's even kicking goals.
Yeah, he kicked a couple last week.
Not sure he did that much.
Playing half back as well, just drifting forward and using his leg.
Sharon.
So again, you can see
again,
Port Districts don't want to go to a contest.
Yeah, look, it was aimed for Doug Greger, probably had to attack it a bit more. Glenunga go forward, and Abe Davis having a rest, I assume, because he's been doing a lot of work. Can't stay away from the football.
So this is going to sound like I'm critical, Phil. I'm not, but this is obviously Port District's game style. As soon as they get the football, their first option is to go sideways. Now,
and Glenunga seem to know it.
Yeah, that's right. And on the narrow oval, and this is their home deck, it's hard to do. I just think early in the game in a high-pressured ANZAC Day, get some territory, get some front and centres, get the ball in your half.
So Davis, 2 goals from his 2 games, 29 goals last year in his award-winning season. From 40, has the height and has the accuracy. And Glenunga are starting to put a bit of a buffer between them and the hosts. Hans Spelter scoreboard. The Rams 2-5-17, Port District. It's all donuts thus far.
Long way to go, but 17-point lead is a great early reward for Glenunga. As we're going to see this tactic of the 2 big fellas coming in to do the centre bounce. Davis having a rest at full forward and immediately got the little turnover kick. He's so clever that it was just a hat kick inside forward that was going to drop short. He's in front. He's a monster of a man to get around. The defender couldn't get his arm around for the spoil. And he's a really good set kick at goal. Abe Davis anywhere inside 50 metres. So great start for Glenunga. A long way to go in this game though.
Thanks to Wayfield Sports Exercise Clinic interchange. Scott McMahon was off for that period of play. He's now back on. So McMahon and Davis, 2 forward targets for Glenunga. Again, Port District, the initial centre clearance. I think all 3 of their inside 50s have come from a centre clearance. Once Glenunga get it out of there, it doesn't come back until Glenunga get a goal. We're right on that 50-metre arc at the moment. There's the clearance. Good tap down from West to enable that. Haynes up. A good position, just couldn't get the football. Millman to actually, we got 2 Haynes. We've got Nash Haynes and Joe Haynes. One Haynes with a Y, one Haynes with an I. To explain that through the course of the afternoon. Looking for McMahon. Joe Haynes comes in to run interference. Hot footy in the centre of Country Living Homes Reserve, and it will be Glenunga. Puts it in front of Prosser. He's tackled pretty quickly. Umpire circling and says, I'll take this one. As we're just doing a quick head count, not of the 18 on the field, but the number on the scoreboard. And I've got it at 10, which I think is a record for the games that I've been here. Not sure you can actually fit that many more on there.
It's good that a lot of clubs struggle to get one kid to go up there and do it, so good on them.
That was my first job in footy.
Yeah.
Was running the scoreboard at Plimpton.
It's good fun, especially if
a
it's
lot of
not
fun.
raining. It's a sunny day.
$5 and 2 raspberry and lemonades. Yeah, it was easy.
Another clearance for Glenunga.
And again, another inside 50. Hope you brought the spare pen to
And
mark
it's
all these down.
10 entries to 4, and 2 of those entries for Port were really shallow.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're dominant at the moment. Port District need to change something around the ball, find a different mix, find a different attitude.
And after kicking 5 straight behinds, there's Davis again. This time took on the defence, got Bilby. He's tackled holding the ball.
Thought Davis was nearly taken high there, Phil.
That's it. Davis won't hand pass to anyone now. I tried the team thing, coach, and look what happened. Put in front of Heffernan. Good to see him back in action.
We don't want to keep harping on this, Phil, but Lysette took the intercept mark there and he could not kick the ball. It wasn't like it was a ruckman looking to give a handball. He just literally could not kick the ball.
He's not pacing himself. He is
It's going to be
struggling.
a watch. We're going to talk about this through the day because it's a big one.
Well, we'll get that's why we have a boundary rider. We'll get Lockie Gold on Lysette watch through the course of the afternoon because he's struggling. Lockie, what have you got for us?
Well, I was just watching him. He was having a massive argument with his direct opponent in the forward 50 when the ball was down the other end. He is moving a little gingerly though, boys out there.
Yeah, well, we'll get you to keep an eye on that as the game itself. Well, good transition. Davidson versus Davis. And Davidson says, I'm heading for the boundary line. Pretty much scores a rugby league try. Not deliberate, because we don't have deliberate in the Adelaide Footy League. We have last disposal.
Which you love, Phil.
Yeah.
One of your favourite
Although
rules.
Colin Ralston said to me years ago when I first started in this league, we don't have deliberate. You have a deliberate out of bounds in this league, give me a call.
We knew that when I was coaching as well.
Yeah.
We would deliberately
And
put
you
the ball
play-
out of
and
bounds.
you play too.
Yes.
And look, a rule is a rule. And you can have rules and you can't have rules. And that's all fine. As long as everybody understands it.
Yep, it's the same for
And it's
both teams.
consistent.
Yep, 100%. Again, Glenunga repeat stoppages, can set the field up, condense the oval, make it hard for Port Districts to exit.
Davidson and Davis in the ruck this time. Sharrod looking at ground level. He lays a tackle. It spills to Aston Woods, who has a shot. And Woods, who comes from the PAC Reserves. West Adelaide, Goodwood Saints. Didn't score. Thought for a second he may have had it behind, but out of bounds on the full. Haynes to Sharrod. Back to Haynes. Look at that for a penetrating kick. Even into a 2 or 3 goal breeze. That looks to be a mark to Lysette. What's he going to do? He got up okay. Yep. Goes with the long hand pass. So it seems to be he can his hands are okay.
Yep.
It's just the legs. Sam McKay has it. This has been as good as Port District. This is probably the first time Port District have transitioned the ball to forward 50. They go with the kick into the playground pocket. That looks really deep from here. It's off hands. Nothing that really Broden Hawkins can do about that one.
But they can get some field position now, Phil. That's the first stoppage they've had deep inside their forward 50, so they can lock the ball in, look to get in on the low, look for a free kick or a repeat entry, kick back inside.
As you can see, a few kids on the playground, plenty of people around. I mean, there isn't a spot on the ground where there isn't somebody here today, which is really good to see.
Umpire is crouching here.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. The camera didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Not only did the umpire do the arms, but he also lifted the leg up as well. It was a 1-point stance, really.
The Glenunga player
ballet.
did do a bit of a semi-draper and sort of sit on the player a little bit, and he probably thought the whistle was going to go. Once the whistle didn't go, the umpire crouched, he was in trouble. So Port Districts badly need this. Rose is a good user of the ball. He should put this through.
Yeah, although has not kicked a goal for Port District. 13 games, no goal last year. 2 games, no goal this year. And has missed.
So maybe we need to check those ground conditions, Phil. Even a player of Rose's ability, he struggled at 30, 35 metres there to really penetrate with that kick. So no doubt the breeze playing a part.
We'll get Lockie to throw up some grass at quarter time in the middle and see where it ends up. Because, strong breeze, if it's not directly north-south, that cross breeze can cause a little bit of havoc. Yeah, we've got 2 goals 6 on what is certainly a dry enough day. Although I see sort of centre half forward for Port District. I see a little bit of mud there, I think. Lockie, you've been out and about. What have you seen?
It's very, very wet, but as you go in towards, it does get drier and drier, and that wind is blowing across towards the tennis courts.
So I guess that's good drainage, isn't it? That if the outside past the boundary line is wet and the inside is dry, it's the dry bits the players play on.
So when we assess this game, we need to get the half time, don't we? Let Port Districts look like they're struggling a bit at the moment, but going into the breeze, they'll get their turn next quarter.
I mean, they'll say, hey, look, we're going into the breeze. It's a 2 to 3 goal breeze, and we allowed 2 goals. To use the cricket analogy, which I use a fair bit on a windy day, both teams have to have a bat.
What's it called? A par score, potentially.
A pass score, I like that, because the 2020.
They'll go inside 50 again here.
McMahon. So the question, if he's there, is he kicking it to? West is resting. This will go beyond West. And it will sit by the boundary line where it'll spill out of bounds.
One thing I like about Big West at full forward, he crashes the packs. He steams out and he'll take anybody that comes in his way. So he's a good target to get a stoppage with Big West. Not doing a lot of ruck work, but giving him a good target up forward.
Okay, throw in. There's West again. Oh, how's that for a tap and a read? How's that for a tackle? Great work all around. Haynes in desperation kicks it away. The side of the thump. Spills to Lincoln Bennett. 2 bodies go in hard there. Port District the clearance. We're back in the centre square. Now it's a one-on-one battle. There's no one forward of this football. 3 Glenunga defenders realise and charge back. Should give Port Districts the numbers, but if they kick without looking up, they'll kick it down a ram's throat. They don't do on this occasion. The short prop kick works for them. Ends up with Harry Hawkins, who earned that. Check out the tattoos. Wowee. Sam Abel made sure he did pay for that. Got a target. This is McKay. McKay's kick is smothered right in front of the club rooms and the temporary marquees and a big crowd. here on the Lefebvre Peninsula Country Living Homes Reserve.
Just had to have a quick look around, Phil. Sam Gray's name we have not called yet. Needs to insert himself into the game for Port District.
So he's 5, isn't he? Where is he?
He's at the ball right now.
There, bang. So what you probably have to see is who's on him, because whoever it is doing a pretty good job. Right now it's no one. Sits with Greg. Greg's kick, looking for Lysette. Pick up. He does kick it. Short kick into the pocket. You know who else we haven't mentioned? Port District. He gets a lot of the ball.
Ah, yeah, our man off half back.
Yeah. Haven't seen
Gaffney.
Keeper Gaffney.
He's normally a prime.
Who is out there at the moment? He's on centre wing. They might have had a bit of the ball and we just haven't called him, but Lysette, that was a dead set shove. Davis played for it a little bit, but
Bit of mayo from Abe Davis. He doesn't fall over too often from a shove, but smart by him. He's a smart footballer.
Yeah, if I'm going to get shoved, I'm going to make sure the umpire sees it. And now Glenunga, are they playing for a bit of time? Quarter time is imminent, 25 minutes gone of a 2-goal quarter.
One thing we know about Glenunga Fields, they don't take a lot of risk with their ball movement. They'll come up the line to their numbers and get a contest.
No, Nathan Groma should be pretty happy. He'll probably be upset that they conceded a behind. Coaches are like that, aren't they, Adam?
Oh, if Grima had 5 goals, 2 on the board, he'd be happy, Phil.
True. But in terms of what's happening around the field, they're doing pretty well. Heffernan again goes wide. This time it works to Ben Gould. And that is quarter time ANZAC Day footy, thanks to Filming Footy. Port District on the Hans Sportal scoreboard at home have 1 behind. Glenunga with the breeze peppered the goals, kicked 5 behinds in a row, then got 2 goals. They are to Abe Davis and Fletcher Wiseman. We will take a break, be back with Lockie Gould from the huddles. Adam will have all the stats in his insightful analysis. Hope you're enjoying ANZAC Day footy. Thanks to Filming Footy.
Takes the lead in the Coolmore. Crone draws clean out from Mizzy. It's a Queensland victory. And a big payday for his owners, winning the English Millennium in a romp.
But Ayrton the class, and Ayrton won the Victoria Handicap.
But Mahuda goes all the way. Where again, Mahuda?
Tolikwa, too classy for them. The Blue Star flashing, beats the ball. A Blue Star gets up the win.
But it's all Globe, 100 metres to go. It's 6 lengths in front. This is an outstanding performance again. And Globe eased down, won the King's Coronation Cup in a canter.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Quarter time huddles. Lockie Gould's in the middle of that. Someone will give you a report shortly. It was Glenunga with the breeze, 2-5-17. Port District's 1 behind on the Hans Sportal scoreboard with Phil Hurd and Adam Jeffries. And let's go. Thanks to Police Credit Union, to Bandry side, to Lachlan Gould.
Thank you. Just a couple of things to take out of the quarter time huddle. But Glenunga, they're pretty happy with how they're going. They want to make sure that they spit out the back when they've got the footy, because they believe the Port Districts aren't picking them up when they're going inside forward 50. They've been free a couple of times. Port Districts, on the other hand, they believe they've massively gotten out of jail. The term used was, "We got really lucky there." Back to you, boys.
Wonderful insights. Thank you, Lachlan. Courtesy of Police Credit Union. Thank them for their support. And did Port District get out of jail just conceding the 2 goals?
If I'm coaching Port Districts today, that's probably the message I'd say. We probably couldn't play much worse. We were beaten around the ball. Centre bounce worked well, but other than that, we were beaten. But they only kicked 2 goals 5, and they've had the breeze. So there's a long way to go in this match. So Port Districts are certainly not going to panic, but I don't know whether it's been by design, but a lot of their prime movers haven't really been involved in this game. It's been a tight scrap. But we'll know more about it at halftime. Glenunga's point of view, great system, great setups around the ground. We know there are a dozen or so troops down from last year's team field, but they look super strong still, don't they? Playing against the team that we think is going to be the best team in the competition. They've out-muscled them and out-strategized them in the first quarter, but I've said it, we'll have a good half-time analysis. Let's see what this breeze is doing. Let's see if Port Districts can get back in the game. Will Glenunga Roo kicking 2 goals 5 instead of 5 goals 2?
Yeah. Well, St Peter's and Teacher Gully got to rue that in their games going forward. It's interesting, Gray and Gaffney, I don't think I called them with the possession now. I might have missed them along the way, but that's never happened before.
Sam Gray's a player that usually stands out when he does get the ball.
I mean, the 2 players that I know, easily.
I'm wondering whether he's tempted to play Sam Gray as a forward. They just look like they're a bit impotent up there at the moment. When they've won the ball, they've been going sideways a lot. I think Port District shouldn't be scared of going long to their small players. If Sam Gray's in a one-on-one under a high ball, he will compete and he will bring the ball to the ground, if not win it. So just because they haven't got the dominant tall forward doesn't mean they can't trust their forwards in one-on-one contests and look to go a little bit quicker and deeper inside 50 from line.
Well, 27 minutes gone of the first quarter at the Broadview Oval. Remember, that game is also streamed on Filming Footy, and it is Broadview. Not sure about breeze or anything like that, although Prince Alfred are kicking to the northern end. If the breeze is the same, they have it, but they're trailing 2-2-14, Broadview 3-2-20. So the Tigers, the winless Tigers, leading by 6 points with quarter time imminent. We'll give you score updates as that match progresses. Anything from the stats pretty quickly, Adam, before we progress with the second quarter?
Yeah, what's interesting is 12 inside 50s to 6 for Glenunga, so really dominant. Excuse me, but Port District's won 3 centre bounces to 0, so let's see if Glenunga can tidy that up in the second quarter as big Scotty Lysette goes back to the middle against his opponent West. Yeah,
6 scoring shots from 12 inside 50s, 50%. That is really good forward efficiency. Thankfully, they got their kicking boots on late. Just clearing the field of what is a very, very good ANZAC Day crowd. We're all set. Second quarter from Country Living Homes Reserve. And there he is, Sam Gray. Gets the clearance, gets the big kick. Umpire's found a free. Will go the way of Port District. How's that for sudden impact?
Well, that's a set play for starters, something that Gray and Lysette would have worked on for many a year. Scott Lysette's not going to jump. The Glenunga ruckman can't jump early and just allow him to be fended. But Sam Gray, we spoke about him, Phil, must have heard the ears were ringing, and a centre clearance and a shot on goal straight away for Port Districts. Who is this with the football? Hawkins?
Bryden Hawkins, 2 goals last week, 4 for the season.
Yep.
And 5 for the season. Districts, that took 42 seconds. Most of that was lining up to set up the set shot. And now it's Port District's turn to exhale their fans. They're back in the ball game. Hansport scoreboard, they're 1-1-7. Glenunga 2-5.
So there's a good coaching tool there for Coach Grimer during the week when he does the video. They'll have a 9-day break till the next game, so they'll have plenty of time to review it. If you're a Glenunga on ball, you can't let Sam Gray get gold side like that. With Lysette's going to be a dominant tapman at these centre bounces. You've got to have a defensive mindset. Stay on goal side.
That's the Terraces with the Bowls Club in the background, and there ain't much space there. In fact, there wasn't much space there when I turned up at 12 o'clock. So great to see. But I put on the extra barbecue today. I've been told the pulled pork burger with the apple slaw is the one to have, but been told half-time they might have sold out. So part of me hopes they do, part of me hopes they don't.
Does sound very tempting as Glenunga get their first centre clearance of the day.
So where are we at? Yeah, they're on the 5th. No, it's a ball up. My apologies. Tully Kennett does the Abe Davis, but his kick straight in the hands of a Port District defender who'll go across. So they've switched it this time, managed to do it successfully to Gould. Working it around the club rooms. Sammy Gray, possession number 2 this quarter. He's growing a beard, looking for Sharrett, his old sparring partner. from way back. Stepping in there was Sam McKay. Massive Humanity running past McKay to the 50-metre arc in that Terrace Bowling Club pocket. Thumped hard out of bounds. Will be a throw in. 2.5 gone. Rams by 10 points. Port District now with the breeze in this second quarter.
Great adjustment by Coach Ramsey, Phil. You could see not mucking around with the football. Long kick contest win. Long kick inside 50. And you can see that the coach has made that adjustment with his players at quarter time. Well done.
Nice it with the tap. Glenunga was sort of waiting for it.
Again, this is where your Glenunga on-ballers defenders have to lock on goal side with Lyset's tap work.
Davis and Lyset. Lyset will win that most daily. Look, Lyset got the tap and Davis got the clearance. And now nobody wants to bring the ball in. And it will be another stoppage. Lincoln Bennett showing some strength. Don't see too many players at ground level with the ball actually stand up with the ball under tackling pressure. Davis still doing some ruck work. That was against McKay. Another Glenunga clearance. But Districts with some numbers. This is Doug Gregg. Moving it nice. I think that's Gray again. Possibly to the top. No push. Port District trying to get it to Batty. And James Batty, that final minute at Tea Tree Gully last week, he had a key play in the middle. Long kick came in from defence. Batty managed to grab it and surrounded by Tea Tree Gully players get it forward. Into space where holding the ball signal was given. And Lachlan Ferns with the free kick booted the winning goal just after the siren. So here's Cooper Gaffney.
Definite change in their philosophy here, Phil. Going long and strong, getting the ball into dangerous areas.
It's adapting for the conditions, isn't it? There's no... As we go down to the snap-on goal by Trent Heffernan. And Districts have their second in 4 minutes. The margin from 10 points is down to 4. Nice crumb off the pack. The veteran's been doing that since 2014. And it's 2-1-13 to Port Districts, 2-5-17 Glenunga. A 4-point footy game on the Hahn Sportal scoreboard. Let's go, Adam. Let's go Bandrew side to Lachlan, then Adam.
Yeah, you mentioned that change in philosophy there from the Districts. One of the things they talked about was lengthening the ground at quarter time. They believe their structures are good. It was just a work rate thing at quarter time. That certainly seems to have lifted.
They've certainly gone long and strong inside 50 this quarter and trusting their marking players. But that was all class from Heffernan, wasn't it? He made that look easy. He's a right footer. Left foot snap. Easy for a class player.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not the position you want to be as a right footer. And that's Port District again. Centre clearance. We've had 4 goals. 6-1 centre clearance. Wow. Heffernan's kick this time got over the pack. Will it take a right hand bounce? Is it a goal? Port District are claiming it. And the umpire agrees. Heffernan, 2 in a minute. And for the first time this afternoon, the home side, Port District, lead on the Hahn Sportal scoreboard. Dare I say it, Adam? Better conversion from opportunities. 3-1-19. Glenunga 2-5-17.
Yeah, the game's changed in 5 minutes, hasn't it? So it's come from their centre bounce dominance, which was there in the first quarter, but this is going long and strong inside 50, so getting deep entries, 5 entries, 3 goals. Heffernan with a little bit of luck there potentially, but very difficult for the goal umpire to see a touch from 25 metres from the goal line, Phil. So I think I didn't see a big deviation. Probably had to call that a goal.
Yeah. No instant replay. What they call hotspot.
No, let's get on with it. It's a goal.
What did you see? What did you feel? Call it and move on. Footy is many times it probably should be. Sharrod spun around, somehow got it out. Beautiful pickup by Hawkins through traffic. It's inside 50 again in Glenunga. Gee, they needed that grab because they feel a little bit under siege at the moment. And now it's a chance to build. Jack Scott at defensive 50. Bowling Club half-back flank. Bringing it down the clubhouse side. West from behind. Couldn't get near the ball. It was a pack of about 5. Haynes. As in Nash Haynes. Both Nash and Joe. Nash Haynes is Haynes with a Y. I'll come back to that in a sec. Because the kick towards the square. Going back to get it under pressure and Zach Smith concedes the behind. The second one for Port District. 3-2-20, 2-5-17. The margin goes from 2 to 3 points.
7 inside 50s to 1, Phil, to start this. So
and 4 scoring shots for the 7.
Yeah. It's a change in philosophy for mine, though. It's not all the Breeze doing this. It's Port District's lifting, moving the ball faster inside 50.
Yeah.
And Sam Gray, he's probably had half a dozen touches this quarter already, Phil.
Correct.
And no mistake that his team's starting to get on top.
And Lycett just looks like it was almost a bit stiff, as in...
He's moving a bit better now, isn't he, Phil?
It's like he's lubricated and he's warmed up. Hand pass 20 out. This is danger territory if Glenunga cough it up. They don't. Although this kick needs to find a target and does.
Lucky.
Ashton was, there wasn't really much for Port District in the vicinity.
Just want to make 1 point clear as well, Phil. We were in no way having a go at Scott Lycett. He's shown a lot of courage to get on the field today. We were just making note that he genuinely is playing sore, not having a go at the big fella at all.
One of the ones where the mind is willing.
Yeah.
Sometimes at a certain age, at a certain, a certain run, the body just doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
So, no, not having a go on the slide. It's just calling it as we see it, is I guess we're here to do. Davis, another clearance.
Yeah, he's on fire, Davis, with those one-on-ones around the ball.
Charlie Pridham. Chance to settle things down.
Crossed over from Goodwood, interestingly enough, over the summer. Pridham.
Yeah, he wants to play Div 1. I guess that happens sometimes. Oh, good read off the pack. Pressure's there, but the hand pass is away. This is Faye by the boundary. That's how you do it. I was wondering if he was going to try something special, banana kick, check side, call it what you want. No, he did the high percentage. Saw there was a couple of Rams in the goal square. Pulled it back. Sammy Parsons has taken the mark. He'll kick straight in front, 15 out.
Saw this from Glenunga last year, Phil. They're pretty unselfish in front of goals, don't they? They don't snap when they're out of position. They'll go to the top of the square. Well done there. Parsons, who was good early, needs to kick straight here. Shouldn't be too tricky, even though he's into the breeze.
Districts have kicked the last 3. They made the goal umpire work and took off a bit of the gum tree, but that is a goal. Parsons first, his 4th for the season. And, the man from Ashburton by North Adelaide and North Melbourne's VFL side puts Glenunga back in front. 3-5-23. Port District 3-2-20, Hahn Sportal scoreboard.
Still early in this game, Phil, isn't it? But that's a huge goal because that's a momentum stopper, isn't it? Port Districts were well and truly on top in every facet of the game, but they go forward once and score. So when you look back at tape at the end of the day, you go, that's an important goal because Glenunga played so well early. Lycett back in the middle.
West did his best getting up high, and Lycett still got the tap, but at least forced a contest. And a secondary ball up. 10 minutes gone, second quarter. Glenunga by 3. It was Broadview by a goal. Late stages of the first quarter. We'll get your score updates at half time. Glenunga trying to move it forward. Faye did very well to smother that attempted hand pass.
Love the Sherrod versus Davis matchup when they're up against Louis Sherrod. Such a tough hombre, good tackler. Davis is a hard man to get down and got him that on occasion.
Back in the side. It hasn't been with Port Districts as much as they would have hoped because he's been getting some decent time in the Crows Sandful side.
I thought Sherrod was going to be a permanent Port Districts player this year. We might have to check that, Phil, because I didn't see him on the Crows list.
No, possibly. This is his first.
He might have been injured potentially. We'll have to check that with the club maybe.
First game for Districts.
Big addition to have him every week. He's still a solid, very class player and can go forward for them as well.
Yeah, Port District Junior spent some time league footy with Woodville West Torrens.
He's a big addition, Phil, because he didn't play in the 2022 flag, so he'll be hungry as well. You don't just come in just looking for a kick and a pasty after the game. He wants to win. He wants to play in a grand final with his mates this year.
Yeah, that was huge, that 2022 grand final. Broke I think it was 20 years, at least, since they'd won a A-grade flag for a club that's, if you include Exeter and Semaphore Central's, won 19 of them. The Districts have it now. Ben Gould from defence has a very energetic Harry Prosser on the mark. He goes back, they switch sides and they go back again. Playground pocket. Game
what
just-
happens with this skinny ground, we call it, Phil. You switch, but they're covered.
Yeah.
You can't go.
You
Whereas
look
at
up
Golden
and-
Grove last week, you switch and you're out. Much different dimensions. Football's a
That
funny
was,
game.
That was a huge ground last week at Harpers Field.
Big free kick there because they were struggling to exit the ball.
Yep.
Port District's holding on.
Now the ground really opens up for them. Harrison Hawkins towards the scoreboard. Just attacking side centre. Ooh, that was a interesting elbow. I think
that was incidental. No harm done. And a good umpiring as well.
That's how the poor bloke had collected it.
No harm done, but he's up and about. Probably get 3 weeks in the AFL for that. In local football, let's play on, Phil.
Yeah.
Not too much to see here.
Well, we're going back and forth along the outer side for the moment where most of the players are. Thumped out of bounds into the huge crowd on that eastern flank in front of you. You can see the Brighton and Cement factory. There's the other side, wherever you look.
It's a huge local
Goodness
footy
of
crowd here, Phil. Let's be honest. This is a big crowd. This is an NFL type of crowd here today.
As you would hope.
Yep.
As you would hope. And thankfully, ANZAC Day is one day the AFL leaves Adelaide alone. And so it is a chance for the Sandful and for Port District. Glenunga going forward. Well, Hero's got something for us in a second. There's a grubber kick from Pridham. It's a behind. Let's go Boundary side. Thanks to Police Credit Union. You're with Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, boys, just on that crowd, I was just down in front of the barbecue area down here. It is really loud down there in front of the benches. Players getting lots of advice as well. Back to you guys.
Do you know if they've still got the pulled pork with the apple slaw? Okay, while you're there, I need a water, but that's another story. As we've got a Boundary, right? We've got to use him for whatever we can. And I've got some money to pay for that, by the way. Lockie, I wouldn't just send you out no money. Anyway, Port District have it. Their defence, they're trailing by 4 points. 14 minutes of the second quarter. Good attack on the footy by Jack Smith. Just, unfortunately, all attack, he left it behind. The kick forward by Dwyer. Glenunga have the numbers. It's just lie set. And comes out to Desira.
Just steadied here, Glenunga, haven't they? They've just won the last few clearances. They've had the last 3 or 4 inside 50s. Just steadied nicely.
They broke the momentum.
Yeah,
and right now, nobody has it.
That's why that goal was so crucial.
3-point lead at the back, Gaffney. Woods tackles him straight away. And we'll have a ball up.
This is the game we thought it would be, though, Phil. It's a low-scoring arm wrestle, isn't it? No team really can break away Port District's 3 quick goals, but other than that, it's been a real arm wrestle, which is the style of game Glenunga want.
Yep. Well, we've got our 3-2-1 for the Roll the Dice Racing Player of the Year. Then we've got our Player of the Game, which is the Anzac Day medal, and we'll concur with that decision. Moseley Bone Kitchen Team Player. Neumorph Magic Moment. I'd give it to the bugler at the moment. Not sure if he wants a mouthguard.
Trent Heffernan might need a mouthguard.
Oh, Trent, I'll give that.
Was, like I said, he made that look easy, but that was a really good piece to play.
So Trent, next time, if you want the award, you've got to make it look hard. And then
stop doing it so easily, Trent.
That's it.
It's like Mark Waugh batting.
Yes. There come Districts. Now, that's a good smother. The kick by Passaniti. And Ashton Woods has been busy.
Great sound effects there, Phil. I felt that smother myself. That was right into the guts, the rib cage. Well done by the Glenunga player.
The ricochet almost into the broadcast van. Oh, Wes, that's a lovely little touch tap down to Bilby.
You can see the breeze did hold that ball up considerably. The players
now look
there
at that
early.
flag, just a moment. Just look at the flag there. It is, if it was blowing straight down the ground, it would be coming at us. So there is a bit of a cross breeze to the outer side. Because you were talking before about Glenunga's accuracy and one Port District miss if there was a breeze reason for that. Here's some hands. Sort of kick to McKay. Oh, now we got a chance. Will it sit for Passaniti? He's under some pressure now. Loses the ball. Keeping his feet. And now it's Prowse. He puts it out in space. Chance for Glenunga to look up. Declan Fay sends it to the pocket. And almost into the crowd. Will be a throw in. Just checking everybody's all right down
Yeah, it
there.
looked like the Glenunga player might have ended up in the Port District coaches' boxes, but no damage done. Always a bit awkward when that happens, Phil.
It is. Even more awkward when it was the old Footy Park bunkers because they were down at depth and not good. And if all of that's going to be a Glenunga free to Fay, edge of the centre square. I'm not sure if that was actually a pass. It looked a bit sick off the boot, but it spills nicely to McMahon. And after probably 7 or 8 minutes of no scoring, McMahon kicks one, seizes the opportunity. His first, Glenunga's fourth. They go to 4-5. That's 29. Port District 3-2-20 on the Hans Sportal scoreboard.
Great little turnaround here from Glenunga. They've arrested a little bit of momentum back just from pressure, getting the ball in deep. I said early, Phil, it was 7 inside 50s to 1. It's now 8-7 in favour of Port District. So Glenunga really have turned the table. Clever little snap there from Glenunga. Not sure who it was that gave the handball to him, but they're very unselfish inside 50. They don't care who kicks the goal as long as the team does. Great response here. Let's see what happens at the centre bounce with the big fella back in the middle.
Some of the Glenunga fans that have made the trek up Port Road this afternoon. In the middle, West, a centre clearance. Glenunga, a rare one from the middle, through Tully Kennett. Inside 50s. First there, I think, is Arbel. Towards the pocket, it's still going towards the goal, so he can pick it up first. Some pressure. Well done by District. Thought I heard a whistle, but maybe not. Play on, maybe. That's a pretty good tackle. That was Sammy Parsons. And will he back himself here? It's into the breeze, so...
I'll have to start this way out to the right and try and bend it back in.
Yeah.
He's better off having a little bit of... He's a long kick, Parsons, so he's probably half a chance. But great forward pressure, though. He's a key position player, Parsons. To chase down like that is what you want to see.
Well, we're right behind it. You're filming Footy Crew. Elias on the main camera. James, a roaming man today. He started right. It's curling left. It has the distance. Well, if Hefton was the goal of the day for Districts, that's the goal of the day for Glenunga. Parsons kicks his second. And all of a sudden, the game's flipped again. 3 straight to the Rams. They go to 6 goals, 5, I'm pretty sure. And if that's the case, it's 40. Oh, no, sorry. 5-5, 35. Port District 3-2-20. It is, yeah. They kicked the first 2. Districts kicked the next 3. Glenunga have kicked the last 3. It's a game in spurts right now. But the biggest lead of the afternoon to the Rams by 15.
And now it's a big centre bounce, and Port Districts need to get some ascendancy back their way. Great play by Parsons, not just the tackle, but that's an elite shot for goal on a windy day.
Well, 4 minutes, and that's an airy. Davis with a tackle, play on. All of a sudden, Glenunga are getting some good patronage from the middle. Faye's kick, picked up by Nash Haynes. Sam Gray, red boots, I'll note that. Looking for Joey Haynes, who couldn't get the ball, but he could play tackler. By trying to tackle a locomotive at speed, that one, but it did the job.
Just went on the same wavelength there, Haynes and Gray. Haynes was looking to run forward to the contest. Gray looking for the handball.
And we're back in the middle again. 21 minutes gone of the second quarter. At quarter time, it was Districts 1 behind, and Glenunga were, 2 goals, 5. So the accuracy certainly improved. We had 2 goals, 6 in the first quarter. We've had 6 goals, 1 in the second. Kick forward, I think, by Rose. The hand pass is intercepted. Michael Whitingford had to play defender in the end. Spills to Hefton. He's good on the left. We know that. He's going to kick another one from that angle. No, he's not, because Thomas Kairovasitis have been practicing that all week. He gets in the way. Forces are behind. Margin to 14.
Again, Glenunga late in the quarter. They won't take any risks. They'll go long to numbers, contest and crumb.
High kick, Lysette and West. It's over the top of both of them. The high bounce, because it is a hard ground beat, Haynes. On the pickup, Harrison Hawkins as opposed to Broden. 2 Hawkins out there today. I think there was a Zach as well, wasn't there? For
yes.
Port District. So Hawkins, great provider of players to districts.
Big 3 or 4 minutes coming up before half-time, Phil. We said we'd know at half-time where this game sat. This is a handy little lead. Port Districts would be desperate for a late one. But if Glenunga can exit and get one, it's a very handy lead. So big 3 or 4 minutes.
It's been two quarters played in some thirds, although Port District have responded. Harry Dwyer.
That's a great snap, Phil. Just did that nonchalantly 40 metres out. Just kicked around the body from a stoppage. Glenunga will be disappointed with that, Phil. They don't concede easy goals like that. There were so many numbers around the ball. And great snap, though. That's a great finish and a very important goal for Port Districts.
Let's go Bantry side to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, boys, I was lucky enough to just be behind that one. And it just happened that as Dwyer was setting up, he was at the back of the stoppage. He was waiting at the back, found the hand pass out, and then just casually snapped it home, as you guys said.
Well, positioning himself well, our Bantry rider. Lachlan Gould, great to have him on board today. Look forward to his contributions when available through the season. Margin back to 9. And not quite imminent for half-time. We've had plenty of goals kicked this quarter. Glenunga have kicked 3, Port Districts have kicked 4, and they may not be finished yet. That looked like a pull-down. Umpire wasn't 100% sure, didn't call it, or he was sure and didn't call it. Shouldn't assume what the umpires are thinking. In the Lycett direction, gets sandwiched by a couple of Rams. Now they're away. Oh, some space for the first time for a while in this quarter. Just directing traffic is Prosser. And all this is done is allowed for the Rams to get the Rams forwards, Port District defenders to get back. This is Fay, who took on Port District, got away with it. Ends up with a kick inside 50, but a little rush. And all safe in the playground pocket.
Just a little coaching tool there for you, Phil. We'll let this play unfold. Thought the mark was going to be taken. When Glenunga won that ball, they went slow and composed, and we spoke about this a few weeks ago. Some of the younger teams would just take off then because they think they have to play fast. Just shows what the quality coaching, and the team is well drilled, know exactly what they need to do.
Well, Ben Gould a couple of times has sat up as the switch player in that clubhouse pocket. I reckon that's about the third time. And Sam Gray has then been the next link up. Gould comes to assist, fumbled at a very critical moment, picked up by Woods. Bilby towards the hot spot. I see a lot of black. Where's the white? McMahon was just caught a little bit off guard with that one. Was a pretty quick turnover. And now we're on there. So here's Gaffney versus Michaelini. Neither could get a touch on it. Last possession rule. Michaelini will take it. 25 gone. Enthralling game of footy. It looked like same old in the first quarter. Lots of possession, no conversion, but it's gone up a notch goal scoring wise in the second. Joey Haynes. Got a beautiful kick on him. To Gaffney. Gaffney's kick. There's the space. This bounce is for everything, and it's just missed to the right-hand side. 4-3, 27 is Port District. Glenunga 5-5-35. 8 points the margin.
Must be late in the quarter for you. You see the structure from the coach's box was they've got to get numbers at the scoreboard and really just put a saturation of people that will make it hard for Port Districts to exit and score. So
got the lead, let's keep it.
Yeah, Glenunga want to protect this lead up to half-time.
Long kick. Appreciate that our scoreboard and the live one. It's producer Hugo versus 10 kids.
Who are we backing,
Phil?
Phil?
Who are we backing? Oh, I promised New Year's resolution I'm going to back Hugo on the scoreboard this year. I've also changed positions, so I'm sitting next to him, so I need to. That's the kick forward. Glenunga, here's the turnover. Greg's kick, that's a good, strong, contested grab to Bilby, who's been one of Glenunga's most proficient with possessions so far.
It's a strong-bodied mid. Bilby loves crashing in, tackling.
Yep, perfect for this league.
Yes,
a strong-bodied mid. Okay, Spills, Tully Kennett, inside 50 without. Woods has to go chase it now. He's got it. Who's he got in support? Was able onto Karavasidis. Davis. Umpire concurs with our fan in front of us. But he was interfered with. And this, with half-time imminent, and far with half-time here, is a big momentum moment to take into the change rooms.
It's a very good ball drop, Abe Davis. He won't be fazed by the breeze at all. He'll walk in steady, get his hand close to his foot. I thought the free kick, it was there, wasn't it? It's really hard for Davidson because Davis is such a big body.
What do you do?
No.
How do you get around
When
him?
the ball drops short, Davis is going to be in a pretty good position. Big kick here, Phil.
Yeah. The man from Maroubra in Sydney made a home here in South Australia. Captain of Glenunga. They have the 8-point lead. Kick looks good off the boot. It is a beauty! Abe Davis has his second. Glenunga has the kids take up from the scoreboard. Glenunga have their 6-5-41. Port District's 4-3-27. A 14-point lead at the half. The goal scorers are Davis 2, Parsons 2, McMahon and Wiseman 1 apiece. For Port District, kicked all 4 goals in that second quarter. 2 to Trent Heffernan in the space of a minute. Harry Dwyer and Roman Hawkins. Great to see under 10s mini league about to happen here at Country Living Homes Reserve. We'll take a break and come back with more Adelaide Footy League action. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League thanks to Filming Footy.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
takes the lead in the Coolmore. Drone draws clean out from Mizzy. It's a Queensland victory. And a big payday for his owners, winning the English Millennium in a romp.
But Ayrton the class, and Ayrton won the Victoria Handicap.
But Mahuda goes all the way. Where again, Mahuda?
Talitwa, too classy for them. The Blue Star flashing, beats the ball. A Blue Star gets up the win.
But it's all Globe, 100 metres to go. It's 6 lengths in front. This is an outstanding performance again. And Globe eased down, won the King's Coronation Cup in a canter.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
have a camera inside the booth at the moment because Port Districts have visited and they've left us. I've got soup from the juniors. We've got pies, pasties and sandwiches.
Thank you to Port Districts.
Oh, thank you, Port Districts. Fantastic.
Great hospitality.
So we're going to be rotating the commentary so we can enjoy some of it as we go along. Also, what I really like, Adam, I'm a big fan of Mini League. And those kick games, used to love doing that with the Eagles. Give the kids a wow moment. Great, have got an under-10s game out here at the moment. They're having a ball, as kids do. And sometimes footy can be a little political or get you down or get in the grind. Always fun going to a kids game and you always feel so much better.
Bit of a lost art, isn't it? It's a great way for clubs to integrate their juniors into the seniors, Phil. Because with the Adelaide Footy League, the juniors will play on Sundays. They won't play on Saturdays. So it's a great way of getting the kids out to watch the senior team play. So well done, Port Districts, doing things very well.
Both teams are out. Should add the other game that's occurring is now at half time. And it's actually Broadview leading by, I reckon it's about 26 points, give or take a point, because there is some confusion with one of the scores. So Broadview had a really good second quarter, and if they can maintain that lead, they're on their way to their first win of 2024.
Much needed win for Broadview if they can hang on there, because they were a bit of hype about them pre-season, wasn't there? So no panic. Zip 2 played against the top 2 teams, so I wouldn't be panicking. But yeah, it'd be nice to get the monkey off the back for Broadview today. Yeah,
well, the two teams that they've played are playing here today.
Yeah,
Port District and Glenunga,
who are both very good teams, by the way. Yeah,
and it's not. It's their structure as well as their skill. You mentioned before the coaching changes that's occurring, the adjustments that you make, and there'll be another set of adjustments that we're going to see in the next few minutes as they come back on, and that's because they've got weapons to be able to utilise.
Yeah, and you can see both coaches of these groups have come back from the SANFL, so they're not young up-and-coming coaches or club legends. Both clubs have just selected a coach that can coach, and you can see it in their structures, Phil, for mine. I wish all clubs would go down that path. Select a coach who can coach, not just someone because it's a feel-good name. So both coaches, I'm particularly impressed with Coach Grahama's squad. You know, there are a lot of troops down from last year, but nothing changes, Phil. This is a system of play. They've only conceded 1 goal from a turnover all day, and that's their one wood. They won't turn the ball over and give the opposition goals. Port Districts have to come up with some special play from the stoppage. What Port Districts are doing well, Phil, is the centre bounce. They're up 7-3 in that category, and they're down by 6 in the inside 50s, though, Port Districts, after evening up that quarter. As the players are getting ready to move to position. I was about to say someone
needs to tell the mini league the game is over, guys, because Glenunga and Port District are coming out to play.
Communication a little bit off here, potentially.
Umpire saying, you want to tell the kids to stop? You want to tell the... Actually, there's one that's come over now. I mean, I love it.
You know what? They just wanted to keep playing, didn't they? So
they want to milk every available second. Yep, come off now.
Yeah, good idea. Little lack of awareness there about what was going on, but good on the kids.
But they've used every available second available.
That's how you get better at football, Phil. The more you play, the better you get.
It's like, and one kid, I can't get him. Won't get him on camera. He has got a mullet to die for.
That's classic. That's classic.
It's like back in the day when we were growing up and we were probably outdoors a bit more than the current generation, and we'd milk every last little bit of sunshine.
So it might take another minute or so to get underway here as they clear the oval, and a lot of spectators here at the ground. They've got to clear off.
A couple of parents that are about to be on centre wing. No, I think they're going to ignore them and just play.
Totally unaware that there's a game of football on.
Yeah. I wonder why nothing's happening. Andrew Crosby coming up. Let's hear Andrew Crosby's diplomatic skills.
Oh, wow.
Surprised the rest of the crowd didn't give them
an applause. Standing in the middle of the oval.
Let's go to Hugo. Hugo, what? Sort him out, will you? Lockie, sorry.
Yeah, boys, that was there was just some conversations going on back there. Speaking of conversations, there was a pretty important conversation that happened at the Port Districts huddle. They believe if they can win the ground balls, they'll win this game.
Okay, thanks for that, Lockie. Sorry for the misidentification. A momentary Port District centre clearance
But a turnover to Glenunga. They're in the white. They're kicking to the left of screen. They have a 14-point lead. And in theory, they have the breeze.
It's a big quarter for Port Districts, isn't it, Phil? Because Glenunga will be able to slow the pace down in the last quarter and not concede too many. So Port need to just win this quarter, even if it's by a couple of points, be within striking distance.
Second, 10 goals scored. 6 to the left, 4 to the right of screen. Port won the second quarter 4-3 to 4-1. Took a 16-point deficit, reduced it to 14. But it was much more nuanced than that, wasn't it? Because they took the lead with 3 straight goals, and then Glenunga kicked another bag, and then one each at the end.
The most impressive display from Glenunga from halfway through that second quarter. And the goal on the siren was huge, Phil. We shouldn't understate that as a great momentum builder for Glenunga. If they can get the first here, it's a handy buffer.
Yeah.
But I won't write Port Districts off until the final siren. They're going to keep coming today.
Yep, and we don't know if the breeze will, strengthen even more as the afternoon progresses. And the one real wild card today is where the teams are at in the final quarter of their second game in 6 days.
Yep.
And we won't know that until late in the game.
Good thing about local football is, Phil, it's always the same for both. You have AFL teams come off a 9-day break versus a team from a 5-day. They always play at the same time at local football, so same for both teams. Glenunga maybe a little bit more youth out there today. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, good point. In fact, it's interesting because you Glenunga get Tea Tree Gully next week. Port District get Prince Alfred. Big game, but both coming off the same gap there. Whilst we're chatting away, the ball has actually made its way to James Batty. He's under the scoreboard. That's reduced in numbers, just 1.
Clever fixturing by the league there, Phil, by the way.
They've had a clean out on the scoreboard. After and I should add, they were out by a point at half time, and Hugo was correct and the scoreboard was wrong. Now, Hugo just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. As it's Kane Person who's marked on the half-back flank. I think we've covered all the half-time frivolities now, have we?
Yeah, I think so. It took a bit of time there. It's Glenunga. Don't often switch the football. They'll normally go up the line.
There's Davis out. Here. He's here, there, and everywhere. The old chicken man. Got it out to Sam Abel, and Glenunga are just playing keepings off for the moment. Tully Kennett on the half-back flank.
So they'll try and just get a little bit of territory before they bomb so they can genuinely get the ball in their front half, put the opposition under pressure.
Now it's inboard to Broad and Hawkins. So not Broad and Hawkins, what am I talking about? So Jack Scott, get the right team up. Glenunga smother the kick. And holding the ball is the call, Port District. So between the 50s pretty much at the moment.
Haven't had a lot of holding the balls today, have we, Phil?
We know about 3, 4.
Yeah, first few games of the year we've called you and I. We've had a lot.
Wow. Port District know all about holding the balls. It was the free kick that got them the winning shot on goal last week. But I'm going to turn over the kick, and there's West. Good luck outmarking Jordan West.
Just had to sit there, didn't he? Millman's, as a key defender, West is a ruckman size, not a key position size, so it's going to be impossible for him. But again, it's the turnover. Port Districts, again, not going long and direct, looking to chip the ball in the midfield. Big shot for goal for him for the right. I haven't seen him ball drop a lot. Let's see what he's got to offer, Phil.
2 goals last week. And still goalless to date.
It's given him something, though, Big West, hasn't he? He's just been a presence. He's competed against Lyset. He's competed inside 50. That's all you want from the big fella. Goal there would have been nice, though.
He's not being dominated, making a contribution. How's that for a kick from Joe Haynes? Well beyond the scoreboard. This Schools tries to pick it up, can't do, and the scoreboard numbers. It's not that they had a clean out on the scoreboard. They just, they're all coming back now.
Just to give you a bit of an indication, Phil, of how tough this game is and the breeze potential. There's only been 5 marks inside 50 for the game. That was the 5th mark inside 50 by the big fella. A lot of ground balls and free kicks, but the genuine mark inside 50, hard to come by. Port Districts have only taken 1 for the match.
So, Districts kick. Down the east. There's a fly! Who took that? Because I got a mouth guard for you.
That's Smith, number 4, Zach Smith. That's a fantastic mark, Phil.
Well, if Glenunga get up, Neomorph mouth guard for Zach Smith. because that was a magic moment. West again got the ball, got the hand pass out. It's a high kick. That won't register a score. Let's have a look. We have the Dartfish replay. Let's have a look at this one. That's a beauty.
Yeah, it's a good ride. It's a good leap. If you had a still photo of that, he'd want to put that in his paw, and it's a fantastic mark by Smith. He's not a huge man, but a great leap.
Yep.
Good to see.
And great work by our camera crew to capture it. And here you go to get it up on the replay real quick. You're filming Footy Family here at Country Living Homes Reserve. Again, Glenunga have set up the wall. They're going to keep it bottled up here until they get a goal. More flying from the Rams. As Gray takes it over in front of... I do believe it used to be two different tennis clubs here at Largs Reserve, one in the northeast, one in the southwest, but I think they merged at some point.
Tennis courts at either end. Imagine the rivalry, the showdown when they play each other.
No, I think it's all one club now.
Largs North versus Largs South. What
that's it. Rackets at 10 paces. And
getting a lot of stoppages in this
We
quarter,
are.
aren't we? This is where both teams are locking on. No team. This is what you call an arm wrestle, Phil, and see who breaks first.
We went from a 2-goal quarter to a 8-goal quarter, and now we've had no goals. Port District's kicking it out, coming straight towards our broadcast van. And out of bounds. Was it off a foot?
Touch.
It is. Okay.
I don't mind that from the umpires. If you're not sure, don't give the opposition a free rather than guess.
Yeah.
I think that's good umpiring.
I think the field umpire was pretty sure. He just wanted to know what the boundary umpire was doing. I think. Again, shouldn't tell you what the umpires are thinking because they really got no idea. Lysette to Gray. Gray to Shara. That's a Port Adelaide combination working there. In a little bit of strife was Karavassidis. His kick is intercepted. Harry Dry with a long kick to a one-on-one contest in the square. Cooper Gaffney is lurking up forward, gets the boot on the ball and kicks the goal. Gaffney bobs up, and the important first goal, if that's his first for the season, he kicked just one goal last year, would you believe?
I think this is a move by Coach Ramsey. Gaffney hasn't been able to get into the game as his usual halfback, so he's put him to the goal square just to try and impact, and he's done it. He's kicked the goal. One thing you don't see that too often from Glenunga, that he took the risky ball back into the corridor. That's something you could hear the moans from the coach's box. It's not how they are drilled to play. They'll normally go back up the line, and it's cost them a turnover goal on that
You
occasion.
reckon that might get a mention at the review?
Yes, I'm sure Coach Grimer will have that in the video review. Boys, listen to me. When you kick the ball there, that's what happens.
Well, it's pretty important that Port District kick the first goal. Reduces the margin back to 8. And they've got the centre clearance through Matthew Rose.
It's 9-3 in that category, Phil. Probably the
Centre
one area,
clearances.
one area Glenunga haven't done too well in.
They haven't been able to. They've managed to dominate clearances around the ground, but centre, not quite. Michaelini is one of the longest names at Glenunga. Apparently, one short of Astropoulos, I think. That's the longest name according to their socials.
I'll get another repeat entry here.
Yeah, this would, in fact, this would annoy Glenunga because they had all the ball.
Yeah, and the one there has caused the goal.
Yeah. As you do see from time to time. Here's a chance they've got. If it sits, it's a goal. And that's well done. Firstly by Sammy Parsons and also by, I think it was Charlie Pridham it was, because Pridham just had to get out of the way. The Parsons soccer goal. There's a pretty quick reply, and Parsons has 3.
How did the ball squeeze out? It was McMahon actually. He collected the ground ball and got it to Parsons. So good play by Wiseman in the pocket, who created the contest. One of those, nothing fashionable about that goal, but super important for Glenunga. That's how the goals are going to come today, Phil. There's not perfect passages and marks inside 50. I think Parsons has kicked 3. He's been a pretty solid contribution.
3. And we've got another dispute between Hugo. No, that was on. Okay. So We've got here Glenunga by 15. Quick reply. Licence hand pass. Wasn't sure it was anyone in particular, but Port District should get out of it. Gray, pretty good work at ground level to Batty. Not much Batty could do about that.
Mind, that's pretty hot, isn't it?
It is.
As long as they pay it equal.
Okay, but Sidis with the free. They whirl around quickly, the Rams. Is that a free downfield? Yes, it is.
He's paid a downfield free, I think. I think he's claiming that there was maybe a bit of a jumper punch on the tackle there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we get a replay on that, boys, but I think that was the signal the umpire gave. It wasn't necessarily a push. It was a bit of the old punch tackle feel. It was a bit of a tactic back in the 80s.
I'm not a fan of the jumper punches. I think they should be.
It's when you come in for the fierce tackle, but you give the round arm tackle.
Yeah.
Hit him in the guts.
Not a real jumper.
But I'm only surmising that was the signal I saw. And Abe Davis has the ball, who's a dink dive set shot, and that pocket isn't as deep as it looks. He's got plenty of goal face here, Davis.
My car is still there, which is good.
He's going the check side field. He's holding the ball with the check side.
Yeah, he is too.
Now he's changed his mind. Don't listen to me, folks.
He's actually going to do it the old-fashioned way. And a miss.
I think he changed his mind mid-run up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to change your mind before you start, but once you're underway, you've got to commit to something. 7-7-49, Glenunga. Port District 5-4-34.
Peppering away inside 50s field, 7-2 this quarter.
Yeah, and haven't had the reward from it yet.
Get another
well, they've had a goal. Another inside 50. Through hands, and Lachlan Gregg will happily see it over. Let's go boundary side to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, boys, I was just having a note. I was just having a look throughout the quarter. It seems to be that Port District's pressure is really lifted around the footy as we go back to the live action now, boys.
Yep. Almost had you calling a goal there from like you always got to watch those boundary throw-ins inside 50. Thanks for the call back. We'll get back to you at the next break because I know you've got a point to raise. As we've got Matty Rose. Swings play. This time it works. Shad was able to keep the ball. Got a little bit of help there. They were going to avoid Port District. Now their transition. Gray. Onto the run of Nash Haynes. That's where he ran into trouble. And it will be a ball up. Lockie, if you got 5 seconds, go for it.
Yeah, boys. So the point I was trying to raise is the pressure around the ball for Port District has really, really lifted since half time. Back to you guys.
Well done. I like it when I say you got 5 seconds and the boundary rider does it in 3. We're working like a dream. As our Glenunga now, they've got an open player in space. Loose player set up. The shot from Harry Prosser. He's got his first for the day. And Glenunga extend their lead back out. They've got that nice buffer back.
Not really sure what happened there, Phil, trying to pick up behind the footy. It looks like the Port District defenders got sucked up to the ball just a little bit too easily, and Prosser just stayed out the back on his own. It was an interesting setup. Normally Port Districts, you see the defenders from both teams be on their back shoulder one-on-one, but someone took a punt there, left Prosser on his own after the quick kick out of the stoppage, and an easy goal for the big fella. So it's a handy buffer, Phil. It's not alarm bells, but if I'm Port Districts, and they'll come home with the slight breeze, but I'd want the next goal if I was Coach Ramsey.
21 points. And it's a breeze where both teams have been able to kick goals against it. And again, another centre clearance. 2 Port Districts, or Didders, as I believe is the local lingo. Glenunga's clearance. Oh, Nash Haynes showing some courage. He knew they were coming and he stayed in the contest.
Yeah, that's the position you don't want to be in, Phil, but he did not take his eyes off the footy there, and a great crash by Prosser. That's football. Great stuff right in front of us here. Great courage by both players.
You can see our ground level cam bringing you Lyson and Weston. Coming in Temmie. Pretty much stolen by Heffernan. Onto Lockie Gregg, but intercepted by Karavasidis. Needs a pinpoint kick. He's got, I think that's Pridham. Yep. This week Glenunga like to move quickly. Kick to 30 metres out. Joey Haynes with the spoil, Heffernan the collect. But beautifully worked by Wiseman. The turnover, the shot across the goal, and Ben Gould couldn't quite get a mitt on it. Luckily for him, it was inaccurate. Another behind to Glenunga. They're 8-8-56. Port District 5-4-34. 8-9, my apologies. 8-9-57. So that margin, 23 points. It's getting closer to 4 goals.
Yeah, like I said, it's a big 5 minutes coming up here. If Glenunga get the next goal, Phil, I'm not going to say it's game over. I never would here at Port Districts. I've seen them come from deficits before. But it's going to be a long way back against a well-drilled Glenunga team.
Bilby going to be paid the grab. He's telling everybody, yeah, go long. That's what he does. See the pack set themselves. To Heffernan in defence this time. Kicked the goal from that spot earlier today. Ball spills. Comes back in. Who brought that back in?
No crouchy umpire there on this occasion. Oh, there is. Glenunga at the bottom of the pack. 11 inside 50s to 2, Phil. Dominant display
11
so far.
to 2, and they've got the buffer. So they've won the quarter.
They need to press hard here, Glenunga, and get the next goal, and they can put their foot on the throat and slow the tempo of this match, make it hard for Port Districts to get any momentum.
West trying to get positioned. He did that well. I thought he was going to be too far back, 3 back, but he managed to position, get to the front, take the grab. There's a fly. I think that here's your problem. This is why defenders don't fly for specky marks, because if you don't grab it, you give away a free kick, and that's what Joey Haynes just did. I think
it's the right decision from the umpire. That's launching far too early, giving the forward no chance. But this is just, if you pump the ball inside 50 12 times in a row, Phil, a free kick's going to go your way sooner rather than later. Need a straight kick here. Who's the young fellow with the play? Is it Tem?
Yeah, Jesse Temmie, lad from Unley Jets Juniors through West Adelaide. Kicked 1 goal last year at 14 A-grade appearances. Drills that! And Glenunga are off to their biggest lead of the game. Let's go boundary side to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, so I was just down at the Port Districts bench. As Scott Lysette came off the ground, Matty Rose said to him, "You're dominating the hit-out." So they're clearly very happy with how he's moving around the contest, boys.
Yeah, but you're only getting centre clearances because Glenunga are kicking goals.
Unfortunately for Port Districts, at the end of the game, they don't count the hit-outs and award the 4 points to the team with the hit-outs.
No.
It's not translating around the ground.
And it is something, because I do my stats for the Sandford and Sandford W. And what Lockie says, Lockie 100% correct. And Lysette is doing a job, because we were worried about where he'd be at. In fact, he's not in the middle for this one. That was Mackay. Still a centre clearance will go the way of Districts. Batty to the pocket. Good grab. My pocket might be a little bit exaggerating it.
Might be a tough shot here. Might look for one more short pass or look for the ball to fall short on the line. Not confident having a shot here. And again, another centre clearance for Port without Lysette at that one. They're 4-zip up in that category this quarter. So something they're doing really well.
Broden Hawkins, I'll tell you. It is Broden Hawkins. Nice to get one of those right. But in the end, needed to, and this is what you mentioned, no tall forwards.
Yep. So they won Achilles
Nobody
heel.
Really flew for that.
Doesn't mean the Port Districts can't be a great team this year, Phil, but their one Achilles heel is their forward structure. They don't have the ability to bomb the ball, make a contest. Even a guy that's not going to be a big goal kicker, but can just make a contest for their smalls to go to work. So something for Coach Ramsey to think about how he can get around that, because if you chip the ball sideways in Division 1, it'll come unstuck at some point. You do have to go long and strong.
He's just got to go across Port River to the Port Adelaide Recreation Centre and recruit a Bearcat.
Potentially.
From the NBL 1. They're on the basketball team there. Maybe that'll be the trick. We've seen plenty of basketballers come to football over time. So...
Yeah, something that they'd be aware of where they're at, and you can see where their game style does shift the ball sideways because they don't want to go long and direct. Sam Gray doing the ruck work there.
Yeah, well, therein lies a problem, doesn't it? You wouldn't. How's that for a pickup? Beautiful on the hand pass as well. Good cover. That was Wiseman with the pickup and pass. Woods couldn't quite get away from Mackay. He was in the ruck, was tapped over the shoulder by Davis. Davis said, yeah, that was me. In the pocket. Braden Hawkins, he was in the other pocket not too long ago. Bouncing ball. This is where they're dangerous because Niskahus will run into the open goal, aim for the goal umpire's head and kick it. And G District need that. They're sixth. Niskahus has his first. Just in the time on. And Port District stay just in touch.
Niskahus, for mine, Phil, he's one of those players that can be a target forward of the ball. He doesn't get outmarked. He's really a midfielder size, but he's good above his head. He's a strong, combative player, and he won't get outmarked. So they've gone to Niskahus one-on-one as a forward a bit today, and something's happened when they have. So an important goal is a long way to go in this game. Really important goal for Port Districts there. Again, centre bounce coming up. What can Glenunga do here?
Well, he's one of 5 Port District players out here who's been playing A-grade level Port District or higher for over 10 seasons. That was the experience to get away from his opponent, some separation, use the speed, and in the end, once he got the ball, a pretty easy goal. Mark it down, another set of clearance. Desira has it, and he's spotted Davis, and where are we? 22 minutes. They're going to. That's a huge kick across the ground. Could be trouble. It is. Gray comes flying out of nowhere. He's got it. Hand pass on. Could it be 2 in a minute to District? The kick needs a bounce. It won't get it. That was Harry Hawkins with the kick. And out of all of that, a behind is conceded. Oh, gee.
I reckon
that's going to come up in the review from Coach Grimer as well, I reckon.
Yeah, again, Abe Davis, corridor, long ball. Experienced Davis, I've never seen him do that in the 2 seasons I've been calling him.
Yeah.
Took a little bit of a punt, ball hung in the air, turnover. Not the style of football that Glenunga generally play.
Yeah. He probably underestimated the speed of Sam Gray and overestimated how quickly his kick would get there. As you mentioned, it hung up a bit. And if it pays off, Glenunga have got 2, and Gray's committed himself and not got there, and they're away down the west wing, and it's a brilliant play. So, you know, those in the corridor turnovers can be massive, however they play out.
As a player, you've got to be kicking those 20-metre balls that dart close to the ground. Anytime the ball hangs in the air in the middle of the ground, you think that you've got a free player. They're screaming for the football. The reality is a player can run 30, 40 metres while the ball's in the air.
And as well, I mean, if it's a low ball, you can tell your player to run forward and attack it. But if it's a high ball,
just sit and wait.
They have to wait. And that is a terrible feeling if you're the one doing the waiting and the opponents are on their way. From the other side, Port District with the clearance at inside 50. A little bit of a push from Niskahus. Umpire saw that. He's on a similar trajectory to myself, and if I saw it, I'm sure he saw it.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision. He's been really good, Zach Smith. They've lost a few troops from down back, haven't they? I think it was his namesake, Smith, Wonky, the fullback in the team of the year. So he's become probably their most experienced defender down there, and he's played really well. This is, again, Port Districts who are dominant for the last 5 minutes, Phil, but they can't get a mark or some contests inside 50. The ball keeps reeling out.
Yeah, well, there's 4 teams in the Adelaide Footy League yet to lose a game. 2 of them are here today. A third, Prince Alfred, was trailing by a few goals last time we looked. We'll get a score from that soon. So this is for top spot in the ladder pretty much. It's inside forward 50. Wiseman under pressure. And we're just going to keep it there for the moment. Let's go boundary side to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed down here on the boundary, boys, is that Port Districts tend to look pretty good when they're moving the ball quickly inside forward 50.
And right now, it's at the other end, so they can't do much about the quick movement. They have to because they don't have the height. Spot on, Lachlan. Well, off hands is a kick out of nowhere. The grubber kick. And I'll get the player for you just a tick. That is Declan Fay.
Pretty happy with that too, isn't he? And so he should be, because
absolutely.
that was a great dribble goal. And I mentioned before, I thought Port Districts were really pushing hard, Phil, to get that next goal. They had 2 or 3, 4 entries in a row. The ball rebounded, free kicks against, no marking target down there again, and it rebounds and Fay kicks a pretty important goal. And be 3/4 time soon, Phil. 28 points is a pretty significant buffer against a well-drilled Glenunga team. This is not playing against one of the young teams that maybe Port District can come back. Glenunga are very miserly and hard to score against. Hard to see them conceding 6 goals in a quarter.
25 minutes gone. Not guaranteed with this, but if there's no more goals kicked, Glenunga have kicked the last goal of the first, second and third quarter. And in a 27-point game, those 3 goals are a critical difference. But bit of time left here. It is Rams ball.
Districts did get the centre clearance again.
What's that? What's that sitting at?
6-0 this quarter, 13-3 for the match at centre bounce.
That's amazing.
But it hasn't translated to score.
No.
That's the problem for Port Districts. They haven't been able to find. Yeah, they haven't been able to find any scores from it. So yeah, this is why stoppage numbers can be. Yeah, you can look at them and go, oh yeah, how good's that? But we need a score from it. So they need to look at something different forward of the ball potentially.
I'll correct myself. Sam Gray got one opening second. Well, got a clearance, led to a goal. Opening minute of the second, and Heflin with the 2 in a minute. That had to be from a centre clearance as well. This quarter, Glenunga have kicked 4 goals, 2. Districts have kicked 2 goals, 1. A 14-point margin is now 28. And from the middle, I think he dropped the ball. Umpire, well, he didn't have to agree because Glenunga got the clearance. That's pretty high. A lot of players waiting underneath it. Glenunga just soccer it forward. Oh, what a tackle by Pridham! I mean, how often do you see that one-man back, see them coming and like a NFL punt returner, just sidestep, and Pridham was not to be had. Gets it to Davis. Davis from 60 unloads. Don't tell me that's got the distance. It hasn't.
One step there, Davis almost had the journey. Pridham's only a short user of the football.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic. He was known for that at Goodwood last year. Pridham being a great in and under type tackler.
10-10-70, the Rams. 6-5-41, Port District, 27 gone. 4 goals to 2. At the moment, 10 goals to 6. Kicked to the northern end, the end that Port District will be coming home with. So it's an advantage, but I think for mine they're a bit far behind, 28 points. Another one here would seal it. Will make it very tough. Through some hands, they've... Port District, gee, you have that many handballs that close to goal defensively and you worry a bit, but they got out of jail.
That's when your heart's in your mouth in the coach's box. But did it cleanly, good use of hands. Don't want to concede another goal here, Port Districts, and would love to somehow find one themselves. Can they get through?
To the halfback flank, West. Got a hand to it, couldn't bring it in. It's a stoppage.
You can see there again, Phil. I know we keep harping on it, but Port District's lack of a tall forward. McKay's had to, bring the ball to ground against 4 players on that occasion, which he did.
That is 3-quarter time. Another really good quarter by the Glenunga Rams. They took a 14-point lead and more than doubled it to 29. On the Hans Sportal scoreboard, the Rams 10-10-70, Port District 6-5-41. We're going to take a break in a sec. When we come back, Adam will give you some more of his fantastic stats and insightful analysis. Lockie Gould will give us all that's happening at the huddles. We'll start talking about some of our prizes that we have to work out for post-game. And all the final quarter action. You're watching ANZAC Day football in the Adelaide Footy League, thanks to Filming Footy.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's the little things, Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again.
It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt. Right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Well, it's been a big afternoon thanks to filming footy, Adelaide Footy League action, ANZAC Day footy. Hope you have enjoyed the coverage with us. Just having a look at what's happening around in Broadview. 24 minutes of the third quarter, and it's the Tigers 10-8-68, Prince Alfred 5-8-38. So still a quarter to go, but I reckon Broadview are going with the breeze in the final quarter. They have a 29-point lead.
That's a good scoreline for Broadview, Phil. They haven't defended the ground too well this year, but held Prince Alfred, a good ball movement team, to 5 goals. That's a much better improved effort from Broadview.
29 points is the margin here as well. We'll get Lockie very shortly once he's got his insight from Glenunga. As we do thank our sponsors, Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, the Interchange Bench, and thanks to Police Credit Union. Let's go down to the ground level with Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, g'day boys. Lots going on at the minute in the huddles over at the Port Districts. They're very, very unhappy. They say it's an attitude issue. There's lots of things going wrong there. They want to win the territory in this quarter. Over on the other side, there's a little bit of a issue with the reigning Western Ferris. They say he's a little bit sore at the minute for Glenunga, but we will keep you updated from the boundary line when we know more.
Thanks for that, Lockie. Police Credit Union. Well, that gives us some interesting insight. We've been keeping an eye on Scott Lycett, who seems to, I think he knows his limitations, and he's having an impact. Abe Davis has had a huge impact, especially early.
So if I'm coach Port Districts here, Coach Ramsey, I'm probably thinking Haynes forward. You've got to throw caution to the wind a little bit, don't you? You've got to go inside 50, 10 or 12 times and kick 6 goals. So how do you do that? You've got to get your talent in that area of the ground. Haynes has been a solid performer today, but he hasn't really been able to dominate the match. But can he be a match winner late? For mine, Haynes and Sam Gray forward is the move I would pull.
Lachlan's got one more thing.
Yeah, just on that point, boys, the centre bounce clearances. The only way Glenunga think that Port Districts are getting back into this game is at the centre bounce. So watch this. This is going to be massive. First clearance of the game, the fourth quarter.
Now, Bandrew Ryder makes a great point there, Phil. We were just about to discuss numbers 13-3 in favour of Port Districts, yet they're down 12 on inside 50. So you don't often see it lopsided like that, do you?
That's a ridiculous stat for a team trailing by 29 points.
Plus 10 in centre bounce, Port Districts minus 12 in inside 50. It's a very unusual statistic.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Because normally you can get that centre clearance, Phil, and get field position, lock the ball in your front half, but not on this occasion today. So can Port Districts mount the fight back? So have we got any moves? Not yet. Haynes forward. I'm a messiah. I'm the Oda, Phil. I know what's going on. Haynes has gone forward. Where's Sam Gray? He's still at the centre bounce potentially. But Haynes forward's a great move by Coach Ramsey. He's a guy that can kick 3 goals in a quarter, Phil, and that's precisely what they need.
Well, they're going to need that and then some. At least 5 goals. Probably 6, maybe even 7.
Glenunga will kick 1. If they can kick 6, they'll win the game. Let's see what happens, eh?
See what happens. Again, we wait a little bit, not for the TV commitments to end, but for this huge crowd to clear the arena. Not quite as entertaining as it was at halftime when the mini-league parents stayed on the ground having a wonderful chat. And, well, there's Haynes in the middle, but it's not Joe Haynes, it's Nash Haynes. Umpire quickly gets back underway. Lycett the tap straight to Davis. Rare centre clearance for Glenunga. If they get a goal here, I think it's all over Red Rover. But Davis's kick is partially smothered. It was Deinhoff with the smother. Sharrod, clean pickup. He's hand passed it straight to a ram. Bouncing ball. It bounces badly for Fay. It bounces back. He goes to Pridham. Pridham could have just about ended it right there. Wiseman's taken the mark. Goal umpire says that's a mark. And whilst the angle will be acute, the distance Should mean if he can just smartly work his way through, he should be right. Doug Gregg is there to make sure he doesn't come too far off the mark. Charlie Pridham's there to make sure Greg doesn't get too close. Greg doesn't like this. It's a standoff. Kick around the body. He's dobbed it. Great effort by Fletcher Wiseman. His second. The all-important final goal of the final quarter goes the way of the visitors. 11-10-76, 6-5-41. The biggest lead, 35 points, kicked by number 35.
Taking the air out of the stadium a little bit, that early goal. We're all anticipating that Port Districts might kick one or two early and make a bit of a game of it. But not on this occasion. And well done to Glenunga. You know, they've been fierce at the football. Wiseman's been a handy little small forward up there today. I believe that's his second goal, which is a good contribution.
They've spread it well. In terms of 7 in a low-scoring game, 11 goals kicked by 7 different goal scorers, giving the Port District defence a little bit of a headache. Through some hands. Here comes District now. Dwyer couldn't get to it. Davis draws the player. Good run on by Bilby. They worked that very well. His kick a little bit off the side of the boot. Gives something for his teammates to chase. Wiseman, hand pass out in the front direction. If it sits, oh, what a tackle by Dienhoff. Saved the goal. Pridham was about half a step away from getting that on the boot and certainly sealing it. Goal-saving tackle by Dienhoff. District's ball. Consider the behind, though. 11-10-11. 11-11-77. 6-5-41, I think. It was.
That man Smith again's been very, very good today, Phil. Another intercept mark for him. He's not a tall player, but he plays a key position. Very good overhead for his size. Zach Smith.
And that's the beauty of Glenunga's skill is they haven't done it yet. But if they decide we're going to play keepings off, they usually have the skill to do that and really force Port District to man up. And it's also down Glenunga's end. I mean, how many inside 50s have Port District had this quarter?
That would be 0.
And 4 minutes, already an early goal to Glenunga. Did talk about the 5-day break and what effect it would have around about now.
Yeah, potentially. There's things gone out of this game a little bit now, Phil. This is nothing to do with the quick turnaround for Port. This is a little deficiency I'm seeing in their front half of the ground that's costing them against a well-drilled team today.
Gray's kick bought a bit of time, but it's coming back from Kova Sitters. And a fly! Someone else almost got themselves a mouth guard. Hold on the ball. McMahon with the tackle. And this kick is to seal the deal.
Great forward pressure by McMahon playing full forward today. Although he hasn't played as the deepest forward, he's played as a bit of a roaming type target, and they played some smalls out of the goal square and Abe Davis resting at times. But when you key position players, we've seen Parsons and we've seen McMahon win holding the ball frees inside 50. You're in a pretty good space, aren't you, when your key position players are doing that?
Michael McMahon, 1 goal today, 7 on the season, 20 from 18 games last year. Initially from the Jeps Cross Rams via the Roosters to the Glenunga Rams. He has his second, and that is all she wrote.
Yeah, and now you mind, if I'm Coach Ramsey, I'm resting Lysett. If I'm Coach Grimer, I'm potentially saying, Abe Davis, here's a dressing gown, mate, 1980s style, have a bit of a rest because you don't want to lose your guns.
Dressing gown, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be considering that. I know there's still 20 minutes of football to go, but you've got nothing to gain. You know, this game is done and dusted. Great performance here by Glenunga. Still 20 minutes to play, but yeah, we'll dissect it more later. But tremendous performance by Glenunga today for mine, Phil, who were here as underdogs, we thought, potentially before the match.
Yep. 46 points, the margin now, game high. Pridham will get the centre clearance after District looked away momentarily. Another inside 50 this quarter. I'm pretty sure it's still 0 Well, the home team.
0-6, Phil, on that
0-6. And when you're trailing by 29 points, that's a game killer. That's what we've seen. Glenunga have converted enough. Here's a chance. Lysette turns around. Still got some on from the leg. There's your first inside 50 for Districts this quarter. And it will be a pretty hot tackle given by Broden Hawkins. Not enough to get the hold in the ball, but it will be a stoppage. Reminder, filming footy, all our Div 1 games streamed, and the stream team, as we like to call ourselves, will be back in action on Saturday as Port District kick around the body, and that's stopped. Niskahus, Jason Niskahus, has his second goal, third of the season. Former Henley Jr. went to the black and white at Port Adelaide at Albert and liked it so much he came out to Port District. Been here playing A grade since 2014.
Yeah, Niskahus Mine's been one of the better players for Port Districts. He's bobbed up around the football and forward of the ball in what's been a tough day forward of the ball for Port District. Niskahus has been a bit of a shining light for Mine. You can hear Coach Grimes very disappointed. I know the sting's gone out of this game. They're 40 points up, but he was very upset that his forwards didn't roll up and cover those players. And that's about structure and discipline, Phil. Any place, any time. This is what you do. Not, hey, we're 40 points up, let's just cruise to a 20-point victory.
Well, if you do that when you're 40 points up, usually a source sign to then be only 20 points up, and then everybody gets up and about. Glenunga going forward, it's going to be a paid mark to Parsons.
They've turned around the inside, the centre bouncers, Phil, 3-0 in favour of Glenunga this quarter. And Parsons, this will be going for his fourth goal, which is a very, very good contribution in a game like this.
In modern day footy, back in the 80s when I first used to love Sandford footy, you kick 12 goals in a game, you'd be guaranteed of being on the losing end. You didn't score 100, you didn't have a hope.
Not anymore, Phil. You kick 12 goals in a Division 1 game, you will win 9 times out of 10.
From 45, gives it a huge burst of air. That's a roost. And whatever wind is out there, it didn't affect it. Parsons has goal number 4. A lucky 13 for Glenunga. 13-11, 89 to 7-5, 47. 42 points the margin. That is a straight, well, there's a 5-goal 6 or a 6-goal lead.
Yeah, like I said, a little bit of junk time now in the match. But Parsons, he's had a great day, Phil. 4 goals, and he's a player that, you know, was just a bit part player for Glenunga last year. Now he's going to be asked to do a little bit more with some of the outs that they've got. Very mobile, key position player. 4 goals is a great game.
The Hans Sportal scoreboard, which, as I said, I love on a Port District. There's one kid I've noticed he's doing all the work, and the others are just there for the view. And to supervise, probably. Niskahus's kick forward inside 50. Batty. It's been moved up forward. Spent a fair bit of time in the midfield today. He's held up, ball up. 9 minutes gone, and I'll correct myself. It's 42 points. That's 7 goals, not 6. Players still going in. Hasn't exactly opened up as a contest. I'm not too sure you get a lot of open football here at Country Living Homes Reserves at the best of times.
It is a narrow oval.
Just the nature of that.
Narrow, so it's just less space to move. It's which
How,
means you've got to play
how's
direct.
It lengthwise, north-south?
Oh, it's reasonable. That 50, you normally look at an oval, look at the gap between the 50 arc and the centre square. And there's a bit of room there, but it's a narrow oval.
Normally you do until the team does some funny business and makes the 50 arc 45. I'm looking at you, Glenelg Football Club. Have called some mammoth goals down the bay in my time that weren't mammoth at all. Haynes. That's Joey Haynes looking for Batty. Glenunga have it. Marcolani, some quick hands. Good. Bilby's got some excellent skills. He fumbled that. And in one motion he fumbled it, then he had the poise to recover and still get the clearance. And there's Joe Haynes, and well picked up by our camera crew. He is not looking good. Well, he's moving to the interchange bench.
But he ain't happy.
No, not the ANZAC day that Joey was hoping for. Centre wing out of side. This game is drawing to what appears to be an inevitable conclusion. teams will enjoy. So what would happen training schedule from here with a Thursday game? Would you just say, look, you've done it hard this week, take a few days off, see you Monday, or would you do something on the weekend?
Nah, you would give the players the weekend off. If you didn't, if I was a player, I wouldn't turn up because you've had a big week, and it's a good chance to recharge the batteries or go watch an opposition, Phil, or the older players spend some time with the
Well,
kids.
that's what it
go
might
the
be.
missus away.
Could you make something social and say...
Yeah.
I mean, Port District have got Prince Alfred. They've got no one to watch because Princes are playing right now. Glenunga have got Tea Tree Gully, who are playing at Paynham.
It's a long season, Phil. If you ask players to do stuff all the time, you've got to drag them there. Give them a bit of time off, then the next time you ask them for something, they'll be there. That's always been my opinion. As we see another turnover.
Parsons, the former Rooster, loves giving the ball a boot. And Harry Prosser is the beneficiary of that for the moment. But not as much of a beneficiary as Lincoln Bennett will be. He decides, well, we've got the lead. There's no rush. Let's take a little bit more time off this clock, and I'll go back and try and slot my second goal of the season first for today. Former Devil from Mount Lofty. Been with Glenunga since 2014. Lycett coming off, much to the commentary of some Glenunga fans in front of us.
Bit of local footy banter, we'll call that, Phil.
Yeah. Well, and that banter is perfectly fine. Bennett's kick, he snuck it in. He's got his first. Party time for the Rams. Now the big decision is who's going to pick up the ANZAC Day medal, which is the A.G. Donnell medal. Bert. He served at the 27th Battalion, as we see Lockie. There's a Bandurrider rider having a chat. I've got to get that. Isn't that good?
That is good to see. And good on Scotty
good to
for
Scotty
talking
as well.
to our young Bandurrider rider there too. And even before the game, so I say, Phil, I spoke to Abe Davis at length at three-quarter time kick around. And for the players to know who the commentators are and go and say good day and have a chat, I think is fantastic. And good acknowledgement to them and good acknowledgement for what we do.
Yeah. And we've been doing this for 5 years now, and I think what really helped probably last year was starting to do all the games in some shape because there's always someone about. As Port District go quick, Sharad sees the ball, sees the goal, goes straight for home. And there's a highlight for District. Sharad's first goal in his first game back this season. So I'll be interested in Lockie's thoughts a little bit later, but just on Bert Donnell, because it's important to do this. He served in the 27th Battalion, was part of the second landing at Gallipoli where he was wounded, served on the Western Front. His brother, Stuart Donnell, who was also a Semaphore Central Football Club 1914 Premiership player, died on active service in France. Albert Bert Donnell was the vice-captain of the 1914 Premiership team. He played in more premierships than any other player. He'd come back and play in 1914, 1919. 23, 24, 25 and 28. Quite the club, Semaphore Central back in the day. Was their captain for 2 years, vice-captain in the inaugural South Australian Amateur League state team and a life member of both Semaphore Central and SA Amateur Football League. A very worthy person, you would have to say, Adam, to have the ANZAC Day medal named after.
Great history of ANZAC's Port Districts, as you've surmised very well today, Phil.
And we will have a medal ceremony. Desire. He wondered why he had so much space and no one was chasing him.
Thought it was out. Good banter though. Didn't get angry at the goal at the boundary umpire. Just had a bit of a laugh. Maybe if it was 1 point the difference, he might have been a different reaction.
If this was Port District Tea Tree Gully last week, when every single call mattered, it'd be a different case. But if you're up by 42 points, everything's a laugh at the moment.
Yeah, agree. Good local footy banter.
Exactly. And the beauty is, hopefully the viewers got a chance to see all of that up close, which we aim to give you all the Div 1 games and the match of the round with the Stream team. We're at Brighton on Saturday. For the Bombers and Golden Grove, Bombers in a bit of a Broadview situation yet to get a win. Golden Grove, can they make it 2 in a row in Div 1? West front position. He's probably enjoying the fact that Lycett's on the bench. And he's the...
Don't even bother. Don't even go up for it next time, mate.
Okay. We got a spare mic.
New boundary rider. But you can see again there, Phil, on a serious note, the deficiency the Port Districts have got. McKay, the size difference there, and he's their second ruck.
As I say, he's one of the biggest
blokes.
blokes.
And he's trying his guts out, McKay, but he's just not a huge man in height.
Okay, let's go. Oh, actually, we'll go to Lachlan at the next break, because as soon as we cross to him, Desire will kick. I thought that was off the side of the boot for a sec. Not a bad kick in the end in that tennis club pocket. All right, umpire's going to come in. Let's go to Lachlan Gould.
So, firstly, boys, Joseph Haynes. He says he's all right, but he might have a little bit of a problem there. They were rubbing ice on the top of his thigh, so just something to keep an eye on there. As I look back behind me, the play's going on. I'll have to come back with the rest of it.
Okay. Now you've got more to give, and now you can give it. Go for it, Lachlan.
The other player I managed to have a chat to down there was Scott Lysett. So Scott's informed me that he had 3 clean-outs on his knee, since his right knee, since August. So it's not holding up too well. He's in a little bit of pain down there.
Yeah, 8 quarters of footy. 7.5 quarters of footy in 5 days. Probably important at his stage to learn where your limits are, and I think he's doing that at the moment, the hard way.
I think we'll give Lysett a thumbs up for courage to get on the field today, though, because 5 operations on your knee since August, Phil. Not something I'd want to endure and then go and play football. So good. And he's a magnet. When the coach has a sore player, Phil, they have to make an assessment. Are we better with a player on the field and not playing? Lycett's a player that they're still better with his magnet on. He can still, the opposition still have to be aware of him. He still won some centre clearances for his team today. So good on him. He'll enjoy the 9-day break, though, Phil.
Harry tries kick, only as far as Zach Smith.
Free kick paid to
so
a push.
Probably the question for Zach. Push, okay, Hefton will have it. As we head to the 80-minute mark is, not will Zach Smith get an award.
Oh, which one? How many should we give him?
But what award will he get? Because I don't think we've actually had a double up.
Are we allowed to do that, Phil? Because he could be all 3. He could be best best team man and highlight of the day.
Well, that would make for a pretty short post-interview session.
Maybe.
You'd need to give him a carry bag.
We'd have to tell
for
him
all the awards.
Share the awards with his teammates. But he's been fantastic today, Zach Smith. As an undersized key position player down back.
Not sure his teammates would appreciate.
We know that Abe Davis received 20 beanies last year and did share them around. So.
That's out of bounds. They're doing some adjustment to the scoreboard. Well, that's the behind. About to tick into time on. All right, as we're just planning a little bit of what we're doing post-game, we will bring you the presentation. It is a presentation ceremony. Want to make sure that we get the wording right on this day. Sun setting on what's always a special day on the Australian calendar. To an outsider, always a little bit weird that Australians recognise their veteran from a battle that in essence was lost. But it wasn't the battle that was important. It was the people that served in it and continued to serve in it. And it was, I guess, for a young country at the time, a momentous occasion to be involved and to serve. And we've been doing that ever since. And we recognise commitment, sacrifice, dedication, bravery, some of our better human qualities of those that served on ANZAC Day. As Port District go back and have missed 8-8-56, 14-11-95 by my maths. It's 39 points.
Interesting that Scott Lysett back on the ground Phil.
He's back on the ground.
Which means...
Well, maybe he needs to run just to keep things...
I think that means it's a degenerative knee. It can't get any worse,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean it can get better, does it? So, less minutes you play, the better on a degenerative knee.
I don't think that's better.
No, I'm surprised he's back out there, but they know what they're doing. If he thought he had nothing to gain, he would have said, "I'm not going."
Yeah.
But he might have wanted to finish the ANZAC game on the field.
Yeah, true.
Walk off the field of battle.
Paddy has it. Claim the mark. Finishing was a huge part of the last minute last week. Very different circumstances.
Normally bobs up for 2 or 3 goals, Batty,
He
doesn't
does.
he? But not today. It's been a difficult day.
He hasn't been. This is one of the first times he's actually had the ball within range to have a shot. He knows that pocket better than anybody.
I think the big...
Let's go down to Lockie Gould with a boundary cross.
So Scott Lysette has just come off the ground again, so he's clearly gone out, had a run on that knee, and has decided that he's coming to the bench. Thank you very much, boys.
Thank you, Lachlan. Well, glad you caught it, because it wasn't for long. And Shara coming on. Those interchanges, thanks to Wakefield Sports Interchange Clinic. That's probably... The signs are getting worse. I'm going to go out for a run because there's nothing I can do about it. Oops, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, okay. As mentioned, Port District, they head to Park 9 on May the 4th, play at Prince Alfred. Then they're back against Golden Grove, the next home game, May 11. For Glenunga, they travel to Tea Tree Gully next week, so both these teams on the road. And they're back round 5, which is May 11, to host Prince Alfred Old Collegians, which is a rematch. Excuse me. Rematch of last year's grand final. $22 and a half gone, I think. Adam, have you got everything sorted?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll try and find out who the umpires think is the best player. Sometimes it's hard when you're umpiring knowing who the best player is. I think we've got our opinions on who it should be, but we'll wait and see as the clock ticks down to a bit of a sick and sorry Port District's bench there.
Yeah.
It's been a tough day at the office.
I hope I got enough voice left to see. Sorry, we'll be right. Throw in just Glenunga's attacking side of centre. Was a cracking game early. Glenunga lots of attacking, but not much result. Port District took the lead early stages second quarter. But pretty much since then, it's been all Glenunga. That's a nice goal. I'll give you the player in just a tick. Because it might be Parsons again. No. I'm going to give it to Jess Temmie. Hope I'm right. Second goal. Which is interesting because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiple goal scorers for Glenunga. They've spread it around quite nicely.
Which is what they're going to have to do, which is what they did last year as well. They didn't have a player kick 40 or more goals in the season for a team that was dominant. They play a very well-rounded team game.
And with that, Rams have cracked the ton, 15-11-101 on the Hans Sportal scoreboard.
Probably not something I thought would happen coming here today, Phil, is that Port District could concede 100 points at home. We thought
Not
that'd
when
be
it
a real
was
defensive juggernaut this year, didn't we?
Not when it was 2 goals, 5-1 behind at quarter time.
True, yeah. A little bit of a surprising day here, but that's okay. Like I said, Port District's a long way to go in this season. They'll find out what works. Obviously, they're the hot tip to go deep. A little bit of a wake-up call. Sometimes when you're a coach, you don't mind these, Phil. You're going to win plenty of games in the first bit up to June break. A little blip on the radar here is good for the review, good for players to see what we need to do better.
They've kicked 9 of the 11 goals in the second half, and they kicked 4 of the last 5 in the second quarter. So that's, 14 of 16, 14 of 17 since the midway point. As Adam heads down to join Lachlan. So we're part of the post. Yep, Adam's going down to give out the prizes, with or without them. Batty's kick is a miss. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's weak. Just need to dry it out. Okay. Back to the game, which is drawing to, as I mentioned before, probably 10 minutes ago, an inevitable conclusion. There's the throw in, he's tackled. Reminder, we'll be back for Brighton, Golden Grove. The other games next week are Shock at Spock and Payneham Norwood Union versus Tea Tree Gully. From the throw-in. Crowd today, a lot of them Port Districts would be disappointed with the result, but great to see so many of them coming out. Rams fans, the trip back to the southeast would be pretty chuffed. Michael Annie's kick finds a teammate. Wormburn, a kick to no one in particular. Davis has to get down. It's socketed out of his hands just about. And with 27 minutes to go, there will be a stoppage. It is Glenunga 15-11, 101, Port District 8-9-57, the margin 44 points. Port District a chance to clear. Gray working himself into some space. Despite the best efforts from Bennett, has taken the mark. Got a runner, which finds Matty Rose. Rose on to Ben Gould, under pressure. And Lockie Gregg's not going anywhere. At the 21-minute mark, so the Tigers are going to claim their first victory of the season at Prince Alfred's expense, their first loss. And there's your siren here at Country Living Homes Reserve. Glenunga have come up to Port District and claimed the 2 points with what turned out after half time to be a pretty emphatic win. Port District 8-9-57. Glenunga, however, 15-11, 101. That margin 44 points. There's going to be a quick gathering and a presentation. We'll bring that all to you, so please stick around for that. We'll get some final thoughts from both Adam and Lachlan, and as the umpires make their way off the field after a well adjudicated game, the scores are correct on the Hans Sportal scoreboard. So no drama there. This is usually where I'm diving madly from screen to screen to check 4 other results, but there is one other game that is at Broadview. 24 minutes gone. It is 95-51, 44-point lead to Broadview. And they're going to go on. So Port District will be top. Sorry, Glenunga will be top. The other 2 unbeaten teams, Shock and Prince Alfred have lost, so they won't join them. So Glenunga will be top, maybe with Shock, if Shock get over St. Peter's on Saturday. John Kernahan, I think that is down. No, it's not John. They can be mighty proud of that effort, Glenunga. And as a team, despite being the best last year, in many ways written off because of changes, it seems to be that they are set for another big campaign in 2024. Want to thank our sponsors, get that underway. The Sports Interactive Classic Clashes programs to fit, Born to Build, the Goal of the Week, and Bianca Construction's the Mark of the Week. 9 News with their Thursday night live. Always a great thing. Check out the club they're going to and get out there. Police Credit Union, it's great to have Lockie on board this year doing the boundary crosses. Some great insights through the course of the afternoon today. Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, the interchanges. Always a little bit more tricky if we're not on the bench. But Scott Lysett certainly provided some interest there. And the Hans Sportal scoreboard, and you've seen it throughout the day. Any big moment, Hugo, our producer, has been giving it to you. The Dartfish replays. Also want to thank Jag Meatworks.
The club has decided to award an ANZAC Day medal to the player that best displays the qualities of the ANZAC spirit. These qualities are skill, courage, self-sacrifice, teamwork and fair play. And as you would expect, a club with such a rich history as ours, we have no shortage of good candidates to dedicate this medal, including the great Bobby Quinn, who won a military medal in World War II. However, when deciding which player this award should be named after, one player stood out above everyone else. When looking through the records, we unanimously settled on a player whose playing career spanned World War I. He served at Gallipoli and went on to have a successful career post-war. It is with a great deal of pride that we name this perpetual medal in the honour of Albert Donnell. Albert started his career at the club in 1911 at the age of 17. He was captain of our inaugural premiership team in 1914 before going to war early the following year. He was involved in the second landing at Gallipoli on April the 25th, 1915, a landing that was deemed more dangerous than first as it occurred in daylight hours. Albert was wounded at Gallipoli, later serving on the Western Front. Sadly, during the war, Albert lost his brother Stuart, a fellow 1914 premiership player, in addition to 5 other teammates from the successful 1914 premiership team. He returned to the club post-war to play in a further 5 premierships, totalling 6, the most of any player at our club. He retired at the age of 35, a career that lasted 20 years, interspersed by a world war. He is a life member of both our club and the Amateur League. It gives me a great deal of pride to welcome Stuart Donnell and his wife Helen, and to present the medal, grandson Peter Donnell.
Thank you to the Port Districts Football Club for the honour of this medal in the name of my grandfather, who unfortunately I never met, and he passed away when my father, Stuart, was only 13 years of age. With the record that he's got, 5 premierships, 6 premierships, 5 as captain, the inaugural Amateur League vice-captain. I'm very proud from our family to thank the Port Districts Football Club. The winner for today, the first time this has been awarded, is Nash Haynes.
Well done, Nash. Congratulations. Thank you very much to the Donnell family. We really appreciate it. And congratulations on everything you've done for the football club. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate it. The after-match presentations will be at around about 6:30. So we'd ask you all to stick around, please. Thank you.
Well, you can certainly appreciate why it's the AG Donnell medal. And we will try and have our own presentations as per normal shortly. Slight ratchet
in terms of players from two clubs having awards. We have never had this before, but we decided at the start of the show that our best on ground would be the medal winner. I have a feeling we're going to stick with that. So bear with us whilst we just round up a couple of players. If we can, we may not be able. Well, looks like we've got the two. Adam and Lachlan are manfully adjusting as we speak. And I think we're just about... and we are ready to rock and roll. We've got three Glenunga players, so we've made an adjustment, which I think is fair enough. Let's go down to boundary level to Lachlan Gould and Adam Jeffries.
Oh, hopefully you can hear me down here. Bit going on, the sun's in my eyes, but let's award some of our best on ground winners. Neo Morth Mouthguard Player of the Day, our Belgravia New Balance Best Player, and our Moseley Bar and Kitchen. That's the one we want. And we'll give the Moseley Bar and Kitchen voucher to Sam Parsons, who is we called it a team man, but we have to talk to Zach about his mark playing in defence. So Sam, let's talk about it. 4 goals. We thought your team were chase down tackle just before half-time, and the long set shot in the breeze was a highlight. Tell us about the goal, mate.
Honestly, I was just thinking kick it straight, and it went straight, so pretty happy with the result.
You don't want to pump yourself up for the chase down tackle? Very humble man, very humble. We get a lot of humble people. If that was me, I'd be saying how good I was going. So well done, Sam. Well done on the Moseley Bar and Kitchen voucher. Neon North Mouthguard Player of the Day, Zach Smith. Probably a bit stiff up with Abe. I thought you were tremendous down back, but the mark. Tell us about the mark, big fella.
I was just hoping I'd take it, because if I didn't, Nani would have been pretty angry with me. So, it's just one of those ones that you get in the right spot at the right time, and got a good one, I guess.
The coach would be interested on. You missed that. It comes up on the tape. You take it. You've won Player of the Day. But well done, Zach, playing really good footy down back. Lost a few troops down back over the summer, so you're doing really well. And look, we're a little bit sick of talking to this guy, our Belgravia Player of the Day, the New Balance voucher, which we'll get to you soon. Big fella, you getting sick of having a chat after the game, or are you enjoying it?
No, I'm a pretty humble bloke, and I don't like to provide the group. I'm standing up here, but there's so much going on that other guys are covering for me and allowing me to play my role. My role is to get noticed. Without certain things, like you look at Snips going forward, could dig his heels in and say he wants to play wing or half back, but he goes forward, kicks 4. That's just been selfless. We have Pridham do a role today, Jesse Temmie do a role today. I think it's just we've got a group at the moment that's really bought into team first. So it's really good.
Yeah, very humble, big fella. But he's right though. Glenunga are a very well drilled team. They've lost a lot of troops over the summer, but they just keep on keeping on. Big win here. We thought they were potentially underdogs, but a 40-point victory away from home on Anzac Day. 9-day break for these guys. We'll let you hit the showers, boys. Sing the song. Well done. Cheers, guys. Back to you in the box.
Thanks so much, Adam. Well done. So, the results today can give you a final score from Broadview. The Tigers 14-11-95, Prince Alfred 7-9-51. A good, strong 44-point win that gets Broadview on the board for season 2024. So, what do we know? We know that Port District are 2-1. We know that Glenunga are 3-0. We know that Broadview are 1-2, and Port District, and Prince Alfred are 2-1. Still to play, Sacred Heart, Payneham Norwood Union. That's last week. Tea Tree Gully, Payneham Norwood Union, St Peter's and Spock. And it's not the game of the round because it's always pretty hard to beat an Anzac Day game. But our game of the day will be down at Brighton Road when the Bombers take on Golden Grove, the Kookaburras, fresh from their historic first win as the boys have come back. Adam, wonderful, what we're calling Gridiron audible to change the script as we see the teams going in. So, you did very well, given that we were going to give the best on ground to the medal winner, but we never give best on ground to a player from the losing side. So, well done.
Look, let's be honest. 8 Days deserves best on ground today. But he's right, though. He's a role player in a team of great role players. He's the role player that stands out. We could have given Zach Smith. Zach Smith was excellent for mine. He could have won all 3 as well. So hopefully the boys might share the vouchers around or treat each other to a beer at the Moseley, whatever they want to do. But yeah, no, well done to Glenunga. Great victory for them.
Was very even first half. Turned out to be a very one-sided second half, Lachlan.
Yeah, certainly lots to work on from a Port perspective. But I thought Glenunga, they were so good all day.
We're seeing some highlights come up thanks to Dartfish. A quick run through of the sponsors: Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel and New Balance, Nearmouth Mouthguards, Hans, Sportal, Warefield Sports Exercise Clinic, Roll the Dice Racing, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. As we start to wrap it up, Adam, highlight from today.
Yeah, highlight for today is Glenunga aren't going anywhere this year, Phil, for mine. Like I said, when you went over that team list pre-match, and when you lose 12 or 13 players from your grand final team, a lot of teams would take a dip. But this is a testament to the coach. I think he's just got a well-drilled bunch of soldiers that all play a role, and they've got some star players that play within that system, but they don't cough up goals from turnover. You saw that great highlight there for Zach Smith, who stood. The next player steps up. They've lost 2 key positions down back, so Zach Smith plays better. They lose some guys up forward. Parsons plays better. Davis does his thing. He'll always be a star player, but he's got lots of good players around him. So for mine, the story of the day is Glenunga going to be a top 3 force again this year, Phil.
Remember, you can keep up to date with all the Adelaide Footy news live on their Facebook page, including Sunday evening, the men's and women's weekend wraps, all the scores from A-grade games there. Tommy Javor, an extensive Division 1 wrap, part of a huge Between the Posts that's out every Monday evening. So, Lockie, great effort today. Love the insights. Any highlights for you and last words for today?
One of those massive highlights, obviously Zach Smith flying over the top of the pack to take that mark. That was probably highlight of the day for me. But yeah, great fun. Really enjoy it.
And Adam, last words from yourself?
Looking forward to coming back in 2 days' time, calling another game. But no, Glenunga for mine, tremendous performance. Port District's a little wake-up call, but long footy season ahead, Phil. This won't hurt them. They'll still be around the mark this year once they can just get something happening forward of the centre, potentially a little bit different.
Yep. So thank you, Lockie. Thank you, Adam. Thank you to our producer, Hugo, camera crew, James and Elias, boss John Douglas, all the Filming Footy family. I'm Phil Hurden saying thanks for joining us here at Country Living Homes Reserve, where earlier today in the C's it was Port District by 93 points. It was Glenunga by 3 points in the B's, and in the A's, the Rams victorious by 44. We'll be back Sunday from Brighton as the Bombers host Golden Grove. As we take you out with the song, thanks to Filming Footy, we'll take you out the Victor song. You've been watching the Adelaide Footy League on ANZAC Day. Least we forget.